Welcome back to the Lumia Mania Duo Invitational brought to you by Wisdom Media GG. I am your host, Casanova. Joining me, Khroen from Cloud9. We are making our way towards the finals after two outstanding lobbies. Khroen, just because I want to get an icebreaker out here. What's your favorite moment from the first two lobbies so far? Just the biggest moment that sticks out in your mind.
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned it a little bit before the break, but I can't go without saying the PinkWard 1v2 scenario there. That was just amazing. And those are the kind of plays that net you that portion of the $5,000 prize pool that we have for all these competitors that, they're going to be earning some of it now that they are in the finals. We've had 6 games so far and an indeterminate amount of games here to go, but we'll talk more about that in a second just for our finals format here.
Yeah, so I'll break that down. Let's break it down right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
$5,000 going to split between the finals lobby. Now, the finals lobby a little different than what we saw earlier as far as how the points work out. The system for gaining points is still the same. However, instead of just a guaranteed flat 3 games in the finals, the first whichever team hits 50 points and then wins a game following being at 50 points, they will take the championship. They will be the winner. Now, if no one hits 50 points and then wins prior to another team hitting 80 points total, the team with 80 points will be the victors.
Yeah.
That is how that is going to work. We're going to go ahead and take a look at that final lobby as soon as it's ready so we can break down what players will be competing in it. In fact, we're going to have it right now.
In fact, we are. It's going to be Tulki and Pulte, Nazori and Madru, Skaz AF and Piemaster, Prismat Pitkid, Turk, Leon Black, Bloom and Averse, Gummy and Passant, Lauber and Madara, and of course, Pinkward and Celeste. Now, Cass, you threw this question to me earlier, not to throw it back. Bold predictions. Who's going to take it? Who's going to win this tournament?
Ooh, that is so tough. But we look at kind of this dynamic Bloom Averse versus Tolkien Pulte, the
Oh,
first
yeah.
play on both sides coming into this final lobby, trying to see who can maintain that dominance. Now, you spoke on the fact that Averse is very good with momentum. I agree with you. I'm going to say that Averse and Bloom, being as clutch as they are, the previous, those world champions from Battle Right, Averse being so good in this game, teaching Bloom the ropes, having a lot of momentum from scoring so high in that first lobby. I'm going to say my prediction going in is that Averse and Bloom take it.
I think that is a prediction I cannot fault you for at all. They've been so dominant today. See if they can continue their dominance here the amount of Magnuses in this game is just, upwards trend here. Bloom, Lauber, Skaz, Pulte, all on that Magnus. Monka steers in the chat. Celeste as well on that Sylvia to bike around there as well.
Ooh, that is actually very interesting. You point that out. Celeste on Sylvia, PinkWard on Linux. No PinkWard
Hmm.
Emma anymore. It looked so good. We had the 2v1 scenario that PinkWard pulled it out on that Emma. He's been so clean on that pick, but now we're getting a chance to see PinkWard Linux. They've got flexes. They've got flexes. They can go Linux Sylvia here. And I'm excited to see how this duo continues to function within this finals lobby.
Definitely excited to see how it functions, and we will be loading into the game right now. Okay, we still see the Turk and Leon on that same comp. We have Madru obviously on the Aya, Pitkin Prismat still on that Yuki and that Hedgen. But yeah, it seems like the comfort that they have fallen themselves into is Skaz Master on the Magnus and the Heart. It worked out great for them with the early aggression, scaling well into late game as well. So this is huge. Actually, Passant is on Isol instead of Rozzy here. That's a huge change coming in the Aya as well.
Yeah, that is a big switch up for sure. I'm curious. I mean, they're gonna go what, maybe double AR Enad. We've seen it kind of in squads with triple Enad with a heart teched in on top of this, but out of Gummy and Passant, I did not expect this.
Yeah, I didn't as well, especially Passant being so well known of a Rozzy player and Gummy loving that Shukai. I wonder what brought about this adjustment, but we'll see if it is the correct one. Of course, Toki is the Rozzy to be feared. Turk as well, can't count him out. Turk has, made his way to the finals on the back of that Rozzy for a reason, but Pie Master, Skaz in the factory area, getting their builds online, Prismaticism getting out of there, Verse not having to contest Michael Udall in that archery range anymore. Pit Kid, Bloom, up top of that alley here. No aggression, of course, in this early stages of the game,
Ooh,
but
look
maybe we'll
at
get some here soon.
I'm looking at Uptown, right? Because Leon Black and Turk have been always, chasing people out of Uptown, trying to fight. We saw Gummy here for a moment, and he could have been in some danger, but I think he TP'd out. Yeah, he's out to
Yeah.
hospital, looking to group up with Passant, try and set up those ENAD builds.
Definitely so. They're going to be making their way on over to Doc. Turk opting for the TP. Leon just looting through. And I think that's pretty good. They get to cover more ground in the Doc area. Leon Black covering this left-hand side, and Turk covering that kind of bottom edge. They are going to maybe run into Tulki, who is in the Doc area as well. We saw them get punished a bit earlier for it, but if they can get out of here cleanly, they can definitely propel forward momentum. Averse and Bloom seem to, at least for now, be the kings of the forest. They have this loot to themselves. PinkWard went in here for about a moment, but is now going back towards Hotel with his partner Celeste. But having a free forest for Averse is so, so good for them.
Yeah, as Averse and Bloom are going to get pretty accelerated on their builds in general, but we see Nizori and Madru moving down to the forest as well. I don't think they're stronger than Averse and Bloom, though. And
No.
maybe they're looking to contest Hotel Tree, which I believe that's what Celeste and PinkWard really want, sticking around in Hotel this long.
Definitely. We've seen the blazing dress come out from Nizori, I believe it was, a couple of times there super early, and they're gonna be trying to fight for it again. Lenox, another user that can benefit off of those Tree of Life items very, very well. We know Pie Master, I think, notably in this lobby, is one to usually go for that, but they're not on the Lenox here. So the Tree of Life has now spawned. Nizori and Maju go over to collect it, but
Yeah.
Celeste and Pinkward aren't really in position to contest it right now. Nizori gets this tree for free.
Ooh. Channels it straight away, and Celeste and Pinkward just weren't ready. They were
Yeah.
off doing some wolves on the side, and now Celeste
Oh.
is going to bike in, going to go down onto Madru, going to try and just run him over straight away. Pinkward trying to step forward to get more as he gets the tipper on the silence, picking up that little bit of damage. Maybe the balance change where there was more damage added to the tip actually making a difference there, and Madru going to fall to that one as Celeste going to vroom Monka skier around and pick that up.
You know, I said it was for free, but I spoke way too soon there. You cannot say it's for free if you get that Sylvia running you down there, said, oh snap, the tree was taken, someone's there, let's go, and caught Madra there. Some great play coming out from Celeste and Pinkward to get the first kill of this game number 1 of our finals.
Yeah, unfortunately for Celeste and Pinkward, they're not going to get that Tree of Life as Nizori was the one who had it, but
Yeah.
I think they'll take the consolation prize of the kill, get the loot off of Madru, and try and snowball a little bit from there, try and find, potentially maybe go for the forest tree, as they are very strong at this point in the game.
I would say definitely we'll be fighting for this forestry. We'll have to see a bit later. Averse being level 8 right now. Highest level, one of the highest levels in lobby, tied with, Madara, Turk, and Tulki. But that doesn't tell the whole story, of course. There is going to be the mastery as well. But only Madara is on 7 mastery now. Only Madara has that weapon skill available. So they can take fights right now just a little bit better than everybody else. Looks like they're still just going to be looting on out here with the hospital. Between Lauber, yeah, still needs an RMP. Same with Madara there. Looking for that cube watch, but that's a bit of RNG, of course, to be able to secure that one.
Yeah, absolutely. Will be a little bit of RNG. We do see, speaking of RNG, got some Pond Bears being taken by Prismat and Pit Kid.
Yeah.
See if they can find, any Mithril, any random force cores getting dropped for themselves. Try and pick up some very solid items and get themselves scaled towards the late game.
Yeah, speaking of RNG items, actually, I think the only person in this lobby to really have one online besides the tree is Passant with a cube watch right now. So Passant and Gummy, being pretty strong right now. It is going to be Gummy and Passant both on that AR build, but Leon and Turk looking for a kill here on Pulte.
Yep, Pulte gonna bite away, but he does run into the truck, gets into a bit of an accident, and Turk's gonna run him down, make him pay for it. Turk and Leon getting some revenge from Lobby A, picking up a kill onto Pulte, and now they are chasing down the Razi, chasing down Tulki. Tulki does connect with that Q at max range, but Turk is on that Mithril shield, has some good move speed overall. Not quite able to catch Tulki, but they will be able to run over and clean up the finish on Pulte, putting Tulki in a very tough position for the rest of this game.
Definitely. They're not going for
Ooh,
the down or the finish on the down right now. There is a world where if they don't find where Pulte crawled off to, Tolki can go for this res. They are going to run a little bit into the hospital where there is going to be some players remaining. However, Leon Black and Turk here might take a fight with Passant and Gummy. Being the AR
yeah.
users, they really shouldn't at this point. However, yeah, and oh man, Toki does fall to the hospital players between Madara and Lobbers. So coming off of some wonderful games in the Group A, they start off with a fast ninth here in game number 1.
Yeah, that's very rough for them as Leon now finding Passant. Passant actually face plants into the wall, but there were no cameras for Turk and Leon to recognize that straight away and go aggressive. The
Yeah.
AR, Aya, and Isol are going to kite away and look to scale. If they make it to late game with their items, that is going to be one of the most terrifying teams in this lobby. Absolutely.
Definitely. We might have seen more aggression there from Leon if his weapon skill was available, but it wasn't. He is on 6 mastery right now. Turk does have 7, but that's probably why we get to see the team of Gummy Gun and Passant kind of roll away there from free. Even if Passant did roll kind of into the wall there, it still was good enough. High Master and Skaz around this beach area, just farming the bears out, getting a bit of their items online. Now Madara, full build. Lobber as well, I believe, full build. Has a mithril shield even, so they're looking pretty terrifying right now.
Yeah, they are. They've got a good amount of, RNG items with the Mithril Shield. They're gonna be able to farm out for Madara, continuing to stack up that hunt. They've done a great job overall, but they might face check into a Verse and Bloom here. They do check. Lauber checks, but a Verse is gonna go in with his patented combo, lands the fear onto Lauber, and Bloom with a beautiful knockback, going to secure that kill onto the Magnus. Bloom getting ahead with that motorcycle and being able to do plenty. And now Madara is going to be on their own from this point forward, as Bloom and Averse should be able to just clean up this kill and potentially find some items off of Lobber that'll help out Bloom. We do know there is, of course, that Mithril Shield that's going to exist there.
Definitely. Checking the bush, but still didn't matter. They said, let's just press the go button. Nozori
Oh,
buttons to get on out of here, but he will not be able to. Madru fell earlier, and Celeste and PinkWard clean up what they started there, getting the second kill there onto that duo.
yeah, finally cashing in that Tree of Life that was stolen from them in Hotel by Nozori. And we see those glacial shoes being put on by Celeste. Gonna have that as Skaz gonna look for this Cemetery Tree of Life. There looked to be potential for a contest, but they decide against it, and this is just gonna be Skaz walking away with it.
Yeah, I think that's probably going to be for Laurel Wraith for a Pie Master. I'll have to see what that does turn into later on. Madara, you're a solo. You can't be around here anymore. Probably has to run all the way up to that hospital TP. TP on out of there. Eat some timer because of it, but let's see. Madara, rat jamming yet again, as we saw in those previous group stage games. Turk and Leon Black down in the factory. Builds also completed. They are a threat here. They have their builds online. They have a kill to their name as well. Prismat and Pit Kid, players that have been kind of quiet in this lobby as well so far, but we know that's pretty standard to their playstyle. They do play a bit quiet in this early game, but they ramp up exceptionally hard once we move into the late stages of the game, where Wickeline is going to spawn. Passant and Gummy, though, collapsing.
Yeah, Madara getting caught out by the AR duo. They're going to just be firing down on him. Madara's actually putting up a pretty good fight for what it's worth, but not going to be able to do enough. Passant and Gummy are going to pick up that kill, and that's going to net them some mastery and the ability to come in and scoop up these bears.
Yeah, their mastery is like kind of average right now for Passant and Gummy. It's like 7, 8, which is what most players are on. Skaz actually the only player to not have weapon skill available right now, on still the 6 weapon mastery. But the AR team, it's really nice to get that that pick off right there, because when you're playing the AR duo, you want to scale well into the late game. You scale so well with mastery at that point. Averse and Bloom not really going to be fighting. Wickeline has arrived. We know Priz and Pit Kid were in the area. Are they going to be able to secure it for free, or will it be contested?
Yeah, it looks like they're just going to grab it for free here. They do grab it just off spawn, and this is huge. We talked about how Priz and Pit Kid really love the RNG items for these builds. We'll see what they're able to grab off of this wick. If they're able to get, Queen of Hearts with the blood, or potentially something like Scotty, if randomly they got a Powder of Life. The Force Chorus can go for multiple things as well.
Yep. Oh, Pie Master and Skaz finding Celeste here.
Yeah, going on to Celeste. He's getting pushed through research. And now it is a chase down onto PinkWard. We're going to see Skaz say, hey, I want to commit. Goes for the bike. Gonna get around the corner, going to connect on to PinkWard, will land the slow. And now we see how this fight's gonna turn out as Piemaster finally gets in range, but Skaz is gonna get chunked to about half HP right away. This build very much complete pretty much by Celeste. He's got the Magnum Boa, got the Amazonas armor, the Creed as well, gonna give a little bit more damage, but going to continue to heal PinkWard up with those Qs, trying to sustain him alongside the food. And it's like Skaz and Piemaster don't want to continue that fight. As Luminiverse look for another bush camp. Gummy steps a little too far forward, dodges the root, but Bloom wants blood. Here goes in with the motorcycle as the Fear is not quite going to connect onto Gummy, but the Omens are chasing and the Fear finally lands. Jungle Guillotine gonna go down to try and stop Bloom. The Gummy gonna land the stun and continue to run away. It doesn't look like he'll be able to get away just yet, but no, he does. He does get around the corner. Very good peel from Passant to slow down Averse and Bloom. And Gummy gets away with his life, which is massive. This composition still will continue to scale up. They aren't to their final form just yet, and they need to just keep getting away from these fights.
And they keep getting away, but they are kind of sandwiched in between 3 teams right now, 2 at the moment. See if they're able to run on over into Piemaster and Skaz and see how they get out of this one.
Yeah, they're just going to try and play footsie and try and hope that everyone will stop wanting to play when they realize there are so many teams around. Passant and Gummy have positioned themselves where they can run through research if they absolutely need to, but they can hold their ground and just try and fight whatever team comes to them as the double Enad builds, doing so much damage to anybody who walks up.
Yeah, they can set up here with some operational mines from Passant on that ISOL. They can't really get aggressed upon that reliably. Celeste just kind of sticking around there. Piemaster and Celeste shooting abilities. They might just need to concede this position and run if they keep getting poked out, because it just wastes all their food if they stay here and keep getting just poked by random abilities like this.
They're playing dodgeball.
Yeah, they get to rest. They get to rest on the ground here, so they actually do well to save their timer. They're playing dodgeball. They don't dodge that one, but honestly, it's okay. But even more teams perhaps collapsing right now. Celeste triggers that bomb on the ground from ISOL, sets up another one. We might still see all of this action result in no kills. I think that's likely, actually. No one wants to get caught with being third party. They don't want to get over aggressive there. So Gummy and Passant being able to walk out of that situation for free when they looked like they were in a dire situation.
Yeah, there were just too many teams in that zone for anyone to actually want to commit. And now we have another little kind of, nod towards each other between Leon Black, Turk, and the team of PinkWard and Celeste. But Celeste and PinkWard just going to back away from that one once again. And you're going to see Turk and Leon still trying to look to control Chapel area. But no big fights breaking out. Just too many teams in this area for the fights to actually happen, which is kind of a funny thing to say, but it is just kind of how it works. You don't want to risk getting a third party.
Definitely not. The thing is, you can take very quick engages if you have a Leanox with that hook. And with Leanox versus Leanox right here, we might see that look happen. No other teams are in the area. Yeah, the hook actually lands.
Leon gets it, and Turk's going to follow up. Turk has so much damage, and PinkWard is going to go down. Now Celeste in a 1v2, going to go into the motorcycle form, but does not have enough damage. Getting crit down by Turk, and Leon Black having plenty of HP to survive. Beautiful hook by Leon Black, the Stitches god from Heroes of the Storm. Gonna be landing the hooks over here in ERBS on that Leanox and picking up 2 kills for his team.
Turns out those skills translate. I recognize that myself, being a Thresh player from League, that can really just change the whole course of a fight, and it does it just there. Great utilization of that Leanox weapon skill. Skaz and Piemaster being chased. Pitkid and Priz might actually. Pitkid can't go on into this.
Yeah, Priz taking a very risky jump and now getting caught in the combo. The skill amp Magnus spinning to win on top of them, but that is a huge coup de grace from Pitkid. He tries to jump away with the dual blade rampage, but not going to be able to get away from Skaz. Skaz going to land the stun, and Piemaster going to finish the job, and that's going to be a knockdown. Priz looking to try and save Pitkid, but I don't know if it's going to work out. The Enad on this heart just going to be burning away on the Yuki as Piemaster tries to continue to push onto Priz. Priz going to jump forward, landing all the abilities, but not quite enough damage as the Caltrops almost did enough, but not quite there, and that is 2 kills for Piemaster and Skaz.
That is so surprising, actually. Generally are 2 of the best, mechanical team fighters. They have so much synergy between them with Prismat and Pit Kid, they kind of misplayed there. Priz going over the wall, and Pit Kid can't chase in the Yuki. You can't dash over walls. He had to walk around. Then they got caught by the Heart Ultimate and the Magnus Spin. That combo, like we talked about so much already, that was a bit strange there, but great play by Pymaster and Skaz to punish that misstep there. And they're going to get 2 kills because of it, and only 8 players are remaining in this lobby. Over half our teams have fallen. At least 1 kill for every team. They are going to be similar on masteries. Everyone is between 12 and 9. Passant being the only one on 9 mastery now. So let's see how these teams are going to be able to move on to this final zone. Verse and Bloom still alive, but Turk and Leon Black, I think, that hook potential from the Leanox, as we saw but a few moments ago, is so strong.
Yeah, and I mean, we have to think about Gummy and Passant. This is kind of the point in the game where we start to think about the Enad builds of these two has really scaled and come online. They're going to do so much damage to anybody walking in. And it's going to be up to players like Leon Black landing a hook or a verse, getting some big combos, to try and shut them down.
Exactly. We see Gummy and Passant just kind of playing a bit passive right now. They scale up. They are the Enad AR users. This is fine play from them. Passant setting up some mines if they would be getting aggressed upon, and they might actually be. They dodge out on the damage of the bomb. Turk stepping forward for now is going to be forced to back up, especially with that root landing onto Leon Black.
Yep. Leon
Everything
going
missing.
not going to connect. Not a single skill shot was hit this day by either side, and they're just going to back away, not wanting to commit in the forest once again,
Yeah.
with every team collapsing.
That's the thing is, Leanox, you can play aggressive if you the hookup. If it misses, boom, just walk away. Wait for it to be up again and try again. That's what they're going to be doing here. Pi, Master, and Skaz in the area right now. This can get pretty bad for anyone who gets caught out by this Leanox hook. They can dictate the course of the fights here. They farm a bit of the animals, while Gummy God and Passant, they're still just kind of stuck here in this bottom corner or side corner of forest. Collect some of the water. Maybe they need the SP, but they're still just chilling. Kind of set up a tent around there.
Yeah, and because of this, they probably are not able to farm as much, which is going to put them a little bit behind where they want to be. They do have the items and the scaling of the late game, and overall, they should still be in a good spot on the double AR skill, but it is going to be less powerful than it could be with them getting stuck in so many spots and not being able to have the freedom to farm.
Definitely. A verse in Bloom. Hang on out at the top side of Forest Avenue line here. We are almost done with day 4. This zone is going to be collapsing into the final forest zone momentarily. And I want to, for a moment, go over the forest final zone there. It's really, really tricky if you have control of the kind of inside building there to push on into it. Yeah, if you're outside of it, like that is going to be such a strong point of contention. And if you are a team with traps set up, you basically guarantee at least a second in a situation like that, if not a first, unless players focus you down, of course.
Gonna land by Pymaster, and we're gonna see Bloom go in with the motorcycle, but this is gonna be the reset from Pymaster to heal back up. Bloom has dropped incredibly low, and it's up to a verse to try and heal. Does get the root, but Skaz going to be able to go unstoppable with his own bike, and Bloom is gonna fall down to Pymaster, so that is going to be Bloom falling. That is the first kill of this, but now everyone hears the noise and wants to collapse, wants to look for the third party, as Bloom is stuck down. Averse trying to find the res, and Turk and Leon might be their saviors or their slayers moving in. Landing the root onto Skaz is the hedging as Leon tries to find more. Bloom gonna fall, but Pymaster on the other side trying to chase down onto Averse even further, as Passant and Gummy now control the entrance. They control the entrance. They can take down Averse, and now Skaz has to walk through, but the double Enad is just shredding them down as Skaz is starting to fall. Passant moving into the corner as Gummy tries to clean them up with blank cartridge, but Leon and Turk are now joining. Pymaster gets one down onto Gummy, and he's going to jump away on this heart, but Turk with the D skill on the pistol trying to chase him down. Gets the Q, going to connect. One more crit will do it, but Pymaster lands the slow, and he keeps running away. He might be able to make it out as Gummy is down to 8 seconds on timer. He won't be able to escape, and Skaz is going to fall to Turk. It looks like Turk and Leon should be primed to win this unless Passant and Pymaster team up against them, but even then, I don't know if it'll be enough.
Don't know if it'll be enough indeed. Leon and Turk have played this game so well, getting some great positioning here. Passant going to loot Gummy's body, try to get some food, maybe some traps that are being held there. Of course, Isol having that trap mastery benefits that test subject so well. Can this actually work? I think it is possible. A duo. It is still kind of a double auto attack, Enad duo here. If Pie Master and Passant both focus Turk and Leon, however, they might just catch Passant entirely. But the good juke there, the camera doesn't come down in time. Passant's gonna walk away from this one, but not unless Leon has something to say about it. He lands the hook.
Leon Black connects with the hook onto Passant. Gonna continue to chase him down. They didn't have cameras to try and deal with it, and Passant lands the root. He might be able to escape. One more camouflage, but Turk and Leon are on the hunt. They're running him down. Now Pie Master just has to decide, can he try and grab the snipe onto Passant and pick up the kill? He does notice that he can start to put out some damage onto Leon Black, but now he is the one that is going to get aggressed upon. That is going to be the ultimate landing from Turk as Passant steps back in with that AR, trying to deal as much damage as possible. The dance from Pie Master going to stop a few. Passant has the smart bombs. He did do his homework and he learned how to make them. He is incredibly low though, and Leon is going to try and push him out of the zone and finally finishes him off. Turk coming in for that final kill. Pie Master lands the charm, trying to sidestep, but does not have enough health. And Turk and Leon Black are going to get the win in game number 1 with 5 total kills.
5 total kills there, 4 on Turk with that Rozzy, but Leon Black landing hook after hook on that Leenox, certainly knowing how to fish up all those enemies and get them out there in the open. That was some impressive stuff there. And oh man, game number 1, as spicy as that, makes me real excited moving forward into our next games.
It was so close. There were so many different teams that it felt like could have been advantaged. There was the Wicklin picked up by Priz and Pit Kid. We thought, oh, they'll be in a great spot. But then from there, it was like, no, Averse and Bloom have a lot of control, but they got caught out. And then it was Skaz and Pie Master. Oh, they're finding the kills. They have the late game Enad heart. Maybe they can do it. But at the end of the day, it was Turk and Leon off of some great third parties and great hooks by Leon Black. They're able to take the first place with 5 kills. Skaz and Pie Master second with 4 kills. And Gummy and Passant in third with 3.
Yeah, this is kind of shaping up being similar from the group stages here. Skaz and Pie Master not getting the win, but getting some kills and nearly edging that one out. Averse and Bloom though, unfortunate scenarios that they were caught in at the end. Averse kind of caught between like 3 teams while being in the red zone, had 3 seconds left on the timer, had to just run into forest and die because of it. So it just really comes down to awareness in those final circles. Where can we position? Where is everybody else? How do we need to work with that all in mind? How do we need to find engages? And unfortunately for Averse and Bloom, didn't really go off that well. They were the team that died first in that kind of end game 8 players remaining scenario. But Turk and Leon Black, their positioning throughout the whole thing was amazing. They knew where to stand, where to be, what bushes to camp, and what hooks to hit, and that is what netted them a first place victory. As we move on to looking at the scores for that first lobby, of course 28 points between Turk and Leon Black, but Skaz and Pie Master very close behind, honestly, only 4 points behind, and 4 points behind them are Gummy and Passant.
Yeah, absolutely. They're very close in that top 3. Just below them, Bloom and Averse at 14 and PinkWard and Celeste at 12. The rest of the lobby a little bit lower, but they can always come back. All of these teams have had very top placing performances in order to get them here. So we'll see if they can have some big pop-offs to try and catch up in the points. Remember, for the finals, the number of games is not technically limited. We can get to whoever gets to 50 points and then wins a lobby will be our champion. Whereas if the total score reaches 80, that is also a win condition. That is to essentially
Yeah.
cap it to make sure we're not playing forever.
And I believe as well, if a situation happens whereas both players can achieve that, say some team gets 15 to win, as well as some other players or team gets 80, the team who gets a win will take precedence in
Yes.
victory there if they already have 50 points. So we'll see if that situation comes into play, because we might have a bunch more games coming forward, or maybe just a couple more. It depends on if we're going to be able to get another dominant performance like that from Leon and Turk, or if we see teams like Tulky Pulte or Reverse Bloom pull out some wins. They're both coming off of 2 wins from the group stage, so we know they have it in them. But this is a new lobby. New adjustments have to be made with all the players that are in here now.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just that scoring system is going to give the potential for comebacks. If people are getting really ahead in the first 2 games, there's still potential for another team to hit 50 points and then win before they're able to cap out to 80. So there will be always the threat of someone coming back and finding the victory in Lumia Mania. So we are excited to see I know it might be a little confusing for you, chat, but we will make sure to keep reiterating on it. But we do have
Yep.
them playing for that $5,000 prize pool. And if you do get that win that we talked about, first place, $1,500 going to that duo.
Yeah, $1,500 the first place, 1,000 second place. There's everybody here in this final lobby going to be earning some money, but really that $1,500 is going to be huge to whoever gets out on top there. And honestly, it still could be anybody. All these teams are so good. I keep wanting to reiterate that. It's like while we have a lot of hype moments, any one of these teams could be bringing another hype moment there. It's just there's no lack of talent here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, each of these, even the last place team from that last game was Tolkien and Pulte, who were
Yeah.
the top of Lobby A. So that just goes to show, even the teams that have been dominant earlier in the day might start to struggle or might not be able to continue to have that level of dominance moving into this final lobby where every team is just so good.
Exactly. Every team is so good. But I wonder, we do have to mention, I wonder if there will be any change ups when it comes to compositions. We've seen them come throughout the day. We saw Gummy and Passant. They were so comfortable on that Razi, on that Shukai, but they came out here with the double AR, Isol and Aya. I wouldn't say it did bad for them. It did like pretty fine. They weren't able to get the victory though, but it looked like they kind of knew how to play that style. Do they stick with it now? We're going to find out right now to see what these players are choosing, what switch ups will be made. It looks like, I mean, Facade, they're thinking about it
Ooh,
and they're going
Razi.
back to the Razi, but pairing that, is it going to be Isol now? What's going to happen here?
Yeah, I wonder if Gummy's worried about the Shukai in this particular lobby, maybe because of a
True.
verse existing.
Yeah.
That might be the thought, just because a verse is kind of known for dominating forest, and
Oh, yeah.
Gummy really likes to be able to go to forest as a Shukai. He might just be really worried about that.
I wonder if it's a little bit too much of a swap up to be going from a Shukai to an Aya to now the ISIL. I think if you think about Gummy's most notable test subjects, they're going to be the Shukai. They're going to be that Magnus as well. Don't really see him as like really too much of an Aya or ISIL player. The Aya was great, so I wonder if ISIL he can do the same on it.
Yeah, I mean, he ended up having a great game. They ended up getting 3 kills and picking up third place. So really well done. And the adaptations continue. Maybe they didn't feel good about that double AR game in general, but they still like the ISOL and they don't like the Shukai, I think is the main note that we're getting from this.
Yeah, I think you said it exactly. Forest is going to be too scary. Averse showing in the previous lobbies that they are going to overall be the Forest Kings. They can't win every single game, but being more likely to do so makes it super, super scary there. Turk and Leon, we're seeing starting in that Beach Avenue per usual. Leon with the heart to start things off here. I like that. A little bit of love showing to
The
all you at
experiment will
home
now
there. No
begin.
one else can see it, only you guys and us.
Just for you, just a little secret, just a little treat. As a treat, we can show you a little bit of that. But we are going to be having a lot of people in factory. It is very early on. We're not going to see many trades. It's going to be around when the teams start to group up. We might see some action. And also, maybe we might need to have our eyes on Madara because we saw, Tom, what he did on that Nadine with the early purple weapon finish. And I
Oh,
think
yeah.
Madara could do the same if someone runs into him in the wrong spot.
That is very fair. Although we did see Tomsorcer get a little bit too over aggressive, there's a window that you can punish players with that purple weapon. But if you overextend way too hard and you don't get any of your other items online, you don't really craft anything for the levels, you can get punished, as what happened. Madara hasn't really been punished in the early games that we've seen. They get their build online, they get strong, then they group up with Lobber. Sometimes one of them do get picked off before they group up, though, so they have to kind of bridge that gap, get together, and then look for kills at that point.
We will have to see. Lauber looking for his loot through school. We'll see if he can find a lighter or if it's doomed. Gonna be the classic Suichi mantra, and also working here for Magnus. Does need his lighter.
Definitely. Tolkien in factory right now looking for the leather. Looked like that chicken did have it. Nope. Did not have it, actually. Probably that craft would have gone through. Piemaster Skaz again. Kings of the factory. Gonna be pushing Tolkien out here. And Tolkien gonna be a little bit worried to move over into Dock. We know that they've gotten punished before by, again, Leon Black and Turk. Both are in Dock yet again right now, taking control of that area. Tolkien needs the Pulte, however, to complement things off, but Pulte is nowhere in sight, at least right now, over on the other side of the map.
Yep. Gummy making his way through Chapel. Already on the Crusader armor, has the Schrodinger's box.
Yeah.
Doesn't quite have the weapon upgrade just yet, but he has a pretty strong early game so as far as finding the items. And I think AR Isol can actually complement the Razi for some early fights. You can land that Semtax, get the root, and then Razi can just have all the damage necessary. So he
Yeah.
might see a little bit more early aggression than last time out of the double AR.
Pulte here is in a rough spot. You can't go forward into Madru here
Ooh.
as we see the chunk out happen right there. You can't even... Oh no, the oil comes out from Nizori. This looks like it's going to be Pulte going down assuredly. And it will be.
Yeah, Pulte going to drop. Madru and Nizori going to pick that up. They might end up sacrificing the hotel tree this time for this kill. It might go over to Celeste and PinkWard. We'll see if they're better on their timing at picking it up straight away. And looking at the minimap, it does look like they will be grabbing that directly on spawn. Nizori and Madru will not be able to make it there in time. And even if they did, Celeste early on this Sylvia, I don't know if you want to fight that.
Don't know if you want to fight that indeed, but this is kind of the shakiness that we were seeing in the in-house games leading up to this tournament from Pulte. Getting caught out there, the build was very, very slow. Now Averse trying to find a pick onto Nizori, and Monkasteer, we got the bite coming through.
Yeah, the bite coming through, and Nizori is going to drop. Now the spin onto Madru. Madru trying to get the down onto Averse, but Averse going to escape with just barely enough HP. Madru now trading onto Bloom, landing just about every shot from the steady shot. That is the blam, 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 blam coming out of Madru. Now looking for the revive onto Nizori, trying to bait them back in, but Averse has basically full HP again, and Madru is probably going to have to get out of this one. Sniper Aya does have some good poke, but I don't know if it's going to be enough with Averse healing up all the way. And now a trade between Gummy and Leon, and it was so close in that fight, but Leon picks up the 2 kills, taking down Gummy and Passant.
Oh, actually, did Madru bully out Averse and Bloom here? Well, I'm not sure why they didn't finish that kill there. Maybe just said, we got the kill credit, let's leave. We don't want to slow ourselves down so much with Madru on that TAC 50, poking us out so hard. Madru is a terror on that Sniper Aya, and Nizori gets a second life here, but I don't know if Celeste has anything to say about it.
Yeah, Celeste is here. That is a great knockback by Nizori to slow down the momentum of the bike. But like you said, Monka steer. Here comes Celeste trying to get the stun onto Madru. He gets onto Madru, but he's now stuck in all that damage from Nizori. And maybe Celeste has bit off more than he can chew as he drops very low. He is going to go down. And now PinkWard, I don't know if he has enough on this Leanox. Madru going to be able to push back forward. That is the tipper from Control Ward. PinkWard going to land as much as he can. But he is looking like he will fall as Averse and Bloom come in for the third party. We'll be able to take down Madru as PinkWard and Celeste fall, but Nizori should not be able to get away here from Bloom getting the stun in the wall. Run stun, job done. Bloom gonna pick that one up.
Definitely. So we get a bloodbath here in game number 2. People wanting to really pick up the pace. Averse and Bloom have 3 kills to their name. Turk and Leon Black have 2, and even 3 kills between Nizori and Madru. Even though they fell pretty early, still 6 points between those kills is not gonna be too bad. However, see a little bit of lull the action now. People are going to be finishing their builds off. But man, that was such a fight there. Celeste actually really getting too aggressive there on the bike. They got punished before Control Ward, before PinkWard was in range to do anything. He was already kind of downed before PinkWard got there. PinkWard just couldn't do enough to 1v2 in that scenario. You're not on the Emma this time. You're on the Leanox, and you already used your ultimate, so not too much you can do.
Yeah, not going to be able to do enough, and that will just cost them. They are both going to go down. The kills going over to Nizori and Madru, but Averse and Bloom with the third party. Going to be able to wipe them up too and really get a lot out of that. Skaz going to grab the forest tree, and Skaz and Piemaster are just going to work towards getting these item completions with these big pickups. Try and play for that late game.
Definitely. The only players with weapon skills online right now are Leon Black, Madara, and Averse and Bloom. Averse and Bloom being the only duo to have both their weapon skills online at this point. And we kind of see why, because of all of that fighting, all that aggression there. Prismat taking out the bear over here in Temple. They're just farming on out. They might run into Tulki here on the Razi. Going to be needing to run back into Avenue, it looks like, or just further into Alley. No, okay, dips down into Avenue. That is the correct move. You probably can't make your way through all of Alley and still preserve your timer.
Yeah, Tolki going to get out of that one. Just try and stay safe as we see Madara and Lauber finding Averse and Bloom here in the cemetery.
Yep. There is the red zone here. Hospital blocked off, but they're going to run through it nonetheless. Go into the pond area. We do have the forest tree, I believe, was taken by Skaz and Piemaster. The cemetery tree is that next kind of objective available. It's going to be up around that 8-minute mark. Pit Kid and Prismat here being chased by Skaz and Piemaster.
Yeah, they're getting chased out of the docks here. One stun gonna be dodged by Priz, but we're gonna see Skaz commit, gets the stun into the wall. Coup de Grace gonna be backstepped by Piemaster, but the fear from Prismat gonna cancel the ultimate straight away. What a beautiful play from the Hedgen, and that will just be the 2 kills kind of immediately.
Yeah.
Skaz and Piemaster biting off way more than they can chew, and that interrupt on the showstopper just gonna be far too much.
Turk,
Turk.
though, very far ahead of Leon Black here. He doesn't really want to make the same mistake that Celeste did earlier, is waiting for his teammate, waiting for that hook potential to come through here, but they are crafting out of their minds right now. Pitkid and Prismat getting all these upgrades through. They don't have their ultimates right now, but as you mentioned, a great fear by Prismat, so beautifully timed to get the cancel onto the heart ultimate there. Bit off more than they could chew for sure. You think with how aggressive Skaz and Piemaster were posturing there, they would put up more of a fight than that, but no, such a quick and dominant turn there. Both ultimates landing, both, fear landing, canceling ultimate again. That was so well played by Pitkid and Prismat. And that's the kind of aggression that they need to get themselves repelled in the early game, because oftentimes they're getting to the end game with having 0 kills apiece, but now they have some acceleration to pair well with their great end game play.
Yeah, they absolutely do. They are getting accelerated. They have that good late game play that you talked about. Their composition is pretty good in those late game team fights. There are enough melees in the game that the Yuki is going to find a lot of value. I think that their comp is really strong. I think Hedgen is just such a strong character as well, and Priz plays it quite well, landing all this CC. Having that control for that final zone can be massive.
Definitely so. Seeing Madara and Lauber here. In the pond area, of course, Madara is going to be one of the highest mastery in the game, farming out a lot of those animals. Leon Black actually is tying Madara, both at 9 weapon mastery right now. Lauber's still on 5, so needs to be, hitting a little bit more, a few more animals to get that weapon skill online. Wickeline spawning in 1 minute. We know that Priz and Pitkid are going to be looking for it, but you know who else is already there? It's Averse and Bloom.
Yep, Averse and Bloom are there ready. I'm excited to see if we're going to get a fight over this Wick. We've seen a lot of Wicks go over for free. We've had not many games where it's been postured over. We had one where there was like 4 teams, but for the rest of them, a lot of the time the Wick is going uncontested, and we do have it in 30 seconds. There are a couple of teams around the area, but Averse and Bloom definitely have control of the avenue.
That they do, getting that surveillance as well, making sure the cams are online. We see Tulki up there at the top side of Avenue, just kind of rat jamming it out, taking down some animals. And yeah, well, you do what you can do with not a completed tiara and no accessory at all. Wiggleline spawning in 10 seconds. Priz and Pitkid, they're not here though. That's kind of surprising, honestly.
Yeah, they are not here. They usually are very good about the Wick timing and being there at the start, but it looks like Averse and Bloom are the ones who have it this time. We'll see if they feel comfortable enough in their vision to just start it straight away. It looks like they do, but we do finally see Lauber and Madara moving in from the top side of Temple. I don't think they'll make it in time, though. It looks like the Wick is going to get burned very quickly. Averse and Bloom should be able to pick this up.
There's a chance.
Coming, but Bloom gonna pop. They're both just gonna pop the ultis to finish it, and they're gonna start to run away. They did see Lauber and Madara on the cameras. They are able to just grab it and run.
That's great there. I think using ultimates, make sure you secure it. You don't want a scenario to go around where you kind of greed the ultimates. Madara bow skill steals it and they just lose the fight because of that. They just want to secure the Wick, back up, loot it, and they're fine here. They're chilling. They can wait until the ultimates are back online and take a fight. Wick buff up, and that's going to be super, super strong for them. Averse and Bloom, definitely one of the threats in this game, but honestly, everyone with a full team right now is going to be a threat.
Yeah, absolutely. All the teams left are very, very strong teams. This is going to come down to more where the fight gets picked. Last time we had a similar situation where there were 4 strong teams left. And it was just that Bloom and Averse got caught out by Skaz and Piemaster. And that's going to really be the tail of the tape here, is will that happen again? Who is going to get caught out and who is going to be in the best position for the third party? It was Turk and Leon last time that were in the best position. See if they can do it again.
See if they can do it again. Tulki up here in the temple, of course, still just rat jamming it out. Still needs to complete some items. We see Averse. No legendaries for Averse right now. No Queen of Hearts or Scotty or anything of the like. The Scotty was over on Pitkid, I believe I did see. And actually, not strangely enough, but Bloom is on the Monkey King bar. I think the first one that we've
Ooh.
seen this tournament. That's going to turn into a ranged Magnus here, but Tulki getting caught out, it looks like.
Oh, dual sword rampage does some
Yeah.
disgusting damage. Does some disgusting things for sure, but that is going to be Tolki going down. The kill cleaned up by Pit Kid and Prez. Gonna be able to grab that extra 2 points, get that increased placement guarantee. Taking out Tolki, getting rid of the Rat Jammer,
Yeah.
hiding off in the corner.
That's huge for them. I did rate Priz and Pitkid very highly going to this tournament, and now we're kind of seeing why, especially, again, with them being able to get accelerated in the early game. They're very, very good mechanical players, so as long as they don't make any kind of missteps like they did previously, they can take down people super, super fast, like we saw with that Skaz Pie Master fight, and now, of course, Tolki being a solo, but still, just so much damage coming through both of those members. Turk having auto arms right now, pretty huge in the build. And Turk actually liking to go Crusader's armor. That's a very, very interesting build change up here. Usually you wouldn't really go for that, but maybe Turk identifying that it's good with the route that he's going to be able to do with Leon Black because they are kind of in that Dock Chapel area. Wouldn't be surprised if that's why they build that.
Yeah, just an adaptation, and the item still just gives some good stats overall for the Razi. Even if this maybe isn't Turk's optimal item, I wonder if there would be items that he would swap to if he found them.
Yeah.
It at least is just good for the route. Is definitely what I would imagine.
Definitely. I mean, it does pair a little bit of Enad with the Electron Blaster. It's going to be, about 43 Enad between those two items. Madara and Lobber is cutting on out here. Good use of the Squirrel Traps to create distance. Leon Black and Turk have to auto through them if they don't want to, get damaged, get slowed. And if you get slowed, you're going to be able to get hit by one of those Madara Qs like we saw right there.
No.
Hook misses. They should back up here.
Yeah, not going to connect, and now we'll see them, yeah, like you mentioned, probably back away. They're getting poked out by Madara. They might want to, keep things interesting, keep following with the potential of the next hook, but they at least aren't going to commit until that's up. They just want to fish for that, maybe find it onto Lauber and just get as much damage down, kick things off.
Definitely. They want to stick around the area, though. Two telephoto cameras coming down. They both have the same exact thought in mind.
The synergy.
The synergy between those two, or maybe the lack thereof, if you look at it the other way. Turk getting poked out again. The hook is going to be up soon, probably in but a few seconds. But Turk's already below half. Leon didn't even want to hit that hook, honestly, because they could have just turned it around.
Yeah, Lauber could have just stunned Leon off that and tried to go for the kills overall, but now Madara continuing to hit Turk, and now we see the bike. Lauber going in onto Leon Black. The slows from Madara as he does land the bow skill, and one more Q onto Turk. He's going to drop to sub 200 HP, and Leon Black is now stuck. Lauber going to get the stun, the whack into the wall bang, going to work out in their favor. And Madara going to pick up the kill onto Leon Black. Turk still running away. He may be fast enough. He should be fast enough, but that is one kill going over to Madara and Lauber, and they are reducing the amount of threats left in the lobby.
You kind of got to question why Leon Black and Turk were going to be so, pressed to maintain that engage there. The hook was coming back up still, but you got to be communicative. You got to say that, okay, Turk got chunked out. You just got to run. Turk was standing there resting when Madara was in Q range. You can't do that. And with a good bow skill, able to pick up the kill. But now Averse and Bloom are trying to get in some of the action. But man, look at that damage coming out from Madara. We know why they're one of the best DPS players in Heroes of the Storm.
Yeah, I mean, it's the Hanzo mechanics here on the Nadine. Really just playing Hanzo instead. Poking away with the Qs and poking away with the D skill, just trying to make sure that no one comes near Madara and Lauber. And there'll be a threat later on, but when the zone closes up, then it actually puts the Nadine at risk of getting engaged on. So these open areas are where they're really shining.
Definitely so. Pitkid and Priz still playing consistent, not really getting into any fights that they know that they can't just outright win. Turk, the only solo right now, kind of between a few teams here. A couple of them gathering into the hotel area, but a minute left until these zones close. Hotel obviously still is going to be available in the zone. Lauber, a little bit split, however, right now. Might get punished because of it.
Yeah, he's rooted. Bloom can get the stun. Great bike to use that unstoppable to get away from the stun. And the poke coming down onto Averse means that this fight is still pretty similar as the Rat Exterminators strike again and take down Turk on the other side of the map.
Yeah, Pitkid and Priz picking up their fourth. Averse using that ultimate as well as the bike coming out. That was, as you said, a great usage of the bike, making sure you can disengage. You can just, chill for a little bit, wait until that is up. Averse still checking every single bush, but Pickett and Priz, they're waiting. If someone does end up running all the way up here, they can still get a good engage because we saw earlier Averse and Bloom, even though the bush that they were in was checked, I believe it was in the factory area, they still just pressed the go button with that intention and just find kills because of that in an instant. Madara and Lauber also, everyone really good at checking these bushes here. Of course, the scroll trap's already in there for the vision, changing over some of the telephoto cameras over there, making sure the vision is online. Versus, speaking of vision, grabbing the surveillance right now. We might get a bit of poking. I'll be surprised to see a committal here.
Yeah, and we did see the legendary bow picked up by Madara. Bloom does have the MKB that you talked about earlier, so we've got a couple big weapons, but I think that's more beneficial overall for Madara than it is for Bloom to have that weapon. Gonna be able to put out so much damage. Oh,
Definitely.
base checking into a verse. Gonna get a stun into the wall, like onto Bloom, but Laubert is feared into the enemy team. Madara continuing to put out the damage, put out the poke. Does not connect on that Q and will be feared. The bike getting just yeeted into the backline by Bloom. Not gonna ride along with it as a verse jumps over the wall and ultis, but Laubert with the combo. The wall stun into all the damage. Laubert showing his tank prowess of getting that catch onto a verse, knowing when to press the go button. And Madara having the follow-up damage. And the fight, the brawlers, the HOTS players playing that heroes brawler, going to be helping them out in the team fighting in the late stages of the game.
Not often does a verse go in that aggressively and get punished for it. He's so experienced in this game that if he makes a play like that, he's confident it will net in a win, but it isn't if you are going up against that tank prowess player, Lauber, with a great turn, a great stun, and Madara with all the follow-up damage needed there. That was some huge duo team fight potential.
Yeah, I mean, I think Lauber is absolutely smurfing this game too. I think he had the escape earlier by having the bike on the frame that he needed to use the unstoppable. This is all on EU ping, by the way. Also with the snap turn onto a versus teleport with the bike and the stun. I mean, this is just brilliantly executed by Lauber in these late stages, and we'll see if he can carry it to a first place in this game over PinkWard and Prismat.
We'll see. We'll see if Bloom has anything to say about it as well. That bike potential, level 16, rank 3 ultimate available. That will do a lot of damage. It could secure one. A minute and 45 until the zone closes. But as mentioned, PinkWard and Prismat, they have the advantageous position. But Madara's poke damage might push them out if they're not careful.
Yeah, it absolutely could. I mean, he's looking to land these Qs, not connecting on the first one, but Lauber going to step forward and block any damage that could go to Madara. He has a lot of HP, a very tanky build overall, as we see the poke continuing to try and come out the squirrel trap line, trying to move forward so that Madara can step up. Priz having very clean movement, avoiding as many skill shots as he can. This is a stun from Lauber. Going to set up a little bit more. They could have tried to commit, but they were a little bit scared of the side, having PinkWard come in with maybe a big coup de grace, maybe a big dual sword rampage. So just going to continue to poke as they are winning this game currently by just playing slow.
A dual sword rampage catching onto Madara would be an insane amount of damage. PinkWard does not have level 2 weapon skill available. It's sitting on 13 weapon mastery. If this fight keeps going on, it will get 14, and he will be able to have that one-shot potential kind of available there. They're doing a little ring around the rosy here. Madara and Lauber now getting position. Priz and PinkWard moving on over to inside the hotel lobby area. And Bloom still just sitting in that corner in the pool.
Yep, trying to, just going for a dip, going for a quick swim, quick, nice, relaxing dip in the pool before the final fight. Just waiting until his timer is going to start ticking away, and he'll probably bike his way in, try and make sure that he survives at the very end, trying to hold on as long as possible. Potentially either steal a kill or get a higher placement.
Yeah. 10 seconds left. 5 now before this zone closes. Bloom probably has a lot of timer left, I imagine. But this is one of the more awkward zones to fight in because you get the inside little track there if you're Priz and you have the all open space to move and work with. Bloom, 23 seconds. Oh, I mean, I think holding this timer or holding the bush position is correct here. Needs to come in soon, however, because only so much timer remaining.
Yeah, Bloom is going to have to go in when his timer ticks down. It's at 10 seconds now. It's falling very low. Madara can continue to poke them in this corner with that bow skill, continue to fight them back, as now we see, finally, the Magnus going to come in. He's going to go onto Lauber and onto Madara. He chunks them out quite a bit. Lauber's going to pick it up with the bike, but now PinkWard is going in, dual sword rampage onto Lauber, lands the coup de grace. That will finish off the Magnus. And it is up to Madara to try and clutch this out. There is no dual sword rampage. There is no coup de grace. There is no ultimate for the Hedgen. But can Madara actually do enough damage? Has he scaled enough? Only 5 seconds on his timer. He moves in, gets feared out. Only 5 seconds remaining as he's getting feared away. He can't survive outside of the zone for much longer. And he's almost going to pop, but he jumps through the Caltrops and he will end up falling. Prismat and Pit Kid going to be the stronger duo in the 2v2 after Bloom comes in and does do quite a bit of work on the team of Madara and Lauber.
6 kill victory there for Pitkid and Prismat, and this is why I had such high expectations from that team moving forward into this tournament. Like that game was so well played, start to finish from all of them. They had the positioning when they could hold it. They, moved away when they couldn't hold it anymore. Got back in some great utilization. They were, I believe, level 14 weapon mastery when they took that engage yet again. So they had the level 2 dual sword rampage. They had the better caltrops there, and they were able to get the victory because of it. Madara was on 18 weapon mastery in that fight. I thought the 1v2 could have been possible, but it was just too cleanly played by Pitkid and Prismat. But wonderful performance there, even from Bloom, kind of ratcheted it out there. He tried his best. Monka steered his way in there with the Magnus ulti, but the bike didn't really find anything more. And Lauber even getting another kill onto Bloom there was pretty nice.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely going to shake up the scores quite a bit. Passant and Gummy got a lot of points in the last game, but they went out ninth here with just 1 kill. So
Yeah.
overall, a lot of the teams that didn't do so well did a lot better this time, and the scores are probably going to even out quite a bit. I actually don't know if any teams made it to the 50-point threshold after game two. I actually didn't expect that anyone did. So we're at least going to have 4 games, it seems, if that is the case. But we will have the scores soon, so we can actually know for a fact. I'm just
Yeah.
I'm so impressed by these games. They've been so close. We have all of the teams in the final lobby are really contending, and anyone can really pick up a win at any moment.
Definitely pick up a win at any moment, like, Lauber on that turn onto a verse. It's just that snap decision
Yeah.
there that can make or break a whole entire lobby there. Again, a verse, not often does he get punished like that, but some great recognition from the EU tank player Lauber to really, really secure things there. Didn't secure the first, but still securing a second was great. We do have the scores updated after these 2 games. So let's see where all these players are shaping. It's still going to be Turk and Leon Black in first place, 44 points. No one is at that 50-point threshold. So we will get at least 2 more games here.
Yeah, we will. We have Turk and Leon at 44, Prison Pit Kid at 40, and then Bloom and Averse and Skaz and Piemaster kind of following up in the 30s. Lauber and Madara having a great game, though, going to help them catch up quite a bit. Unfortunately, Tolkien and Pulte kind of being left in the dust down there at 12, pretty much
Yeah.
reverse of their performance from the group stage.
Definitely, it's a bit surprising there. I touched upon it a bit in the game. Pulte kind of getting cut out once again, kind of reminiscent of the practice. They know how to win. They know how to adjust in that scenario because they did it in the group stage. So they need to be looking at them moving forward into game 3. What adjustments can they actually make? They can't really be in that dock area. You have to get online relatively early if you are, or at least not online, but at least group up with Tolkien relatively early if you are Pulte, because you can't just be on green weapon there running into Madru with attack 50 completed.
Yeah.
That sniper Aya is just way, way too strong to run into at that point.
Yeah, Madru was chunking in that game, and Madru and Nizoria, unfortunately for them, ended up getting third-partied and taken down. So they, even though had a great early game with that sniper Aya, they were not able to transition it as Averse and Bloom were on their back. So we'll see if they can have a better showing in game number 3. Like we mentioned, because of the way the system works, we will have at least have 4 games here because no one has hit that 50-point threshold that they need to then secure a first place and win. So we do have a couple more games coming up, and we're really excited to continue to cast this final lobby as it is just an outstanding group of players.
Definitely. And it's so close when we look at those middle of the pack point earners here. Bloom and Averse, 34. They're in third. Skaz and Piemaster, 32 points in fourth. Lauber and Madara, 30 points in fifth. So around that kind of third to fifth bubble, it is super, super close. And there's still room for players like Nozori and Maju, PinkWard and Celeste, Tolki Pulte to kind of have a breakout performance. We know all of them are solid. Tolki Pulte got a win. Madru and Nozori got a win earlier too. So the capability is, of course, there.
Yeah, absolutely. They can absolutely turn this around, try and make their way back. If they get a big point game here and hit 50 points as well, then they just need one more first place and they can secure it. So, there are definite ways to come back in this tournament. Any of these teams really still being in it, maybe exception of the bottom, but it's still possible. There is still
Yeah.
like a world where they can make it all the way back.
If you have a couple of really good games, like say if somebody gets 50 points in this next game, which I believe will happen, as long as you're the one winning the lobby, you can deny that victory potential for them. So it kind of creates an interesting dynamic in how players will approach this game and moving forward here into the next two. There is still room for people at the bottom to have a couple good games in a row. And we know that it happened twice earlier before. You can have back-to-back wins like from Tulki and Pulte, like from Averse and Bloom. So that potential is, of course, there.
Yeah, it really is, and it's definitely interesting to see this lobby compared to the others because we had those big breakout standout performances from Tolki and Pulte and Averse and Bloom in their respective lobbies where they did have just miles above the rest as far as points are concerned. But this time around, we don't have that. We have a lot of people all kind of compressed around a similar number of points, and that is the most exciting thing that you can expect to see in a finals lobby.
Definitely seeing what players are going to be picking for their test subjects here. Looks like maybe Passant and Gummy going back to the Aya Isol, not wanting to contest the forest, but also not really wanting Gummy on the Isol and Passant on the Razi. And that sounds a little bit weird, but I guess the routing will work out a bit better. It doesn't look like anybody else is going to be changing up compositions, however. So I think everything else, yeah, is going to be pretty similar.
Yeah, absolutely. Gonna see where they end up dropping if there are any kind of changes within their opening routes. That could also
Yeah.
happen. But the games have been a little bit slow paced in the early. There's not a ton of fighting until we get around that hotel tree. And it's not always hotel tree, but it does generally end up there that we have kind of our first big action. And I want to see if there are people contesting that once again, especially since Celeste and PinkWard have shifted away from that composition, as you mentioned. They may not be contesting it as hard.
Yeah, on the Adriana, on the Emma there, Nozori, of course, on the Adriana as well. They're going to be looking for that tree. We'll see. Hotel action is kind of like you mentioned, where things kind of start out, if not factory potential as well. But I think people identified that Skaz and Pymaster are going to be so strong in factory pretty much every single game. I wouldn't be surprised to see Pitkit, and Prismat still just be pretty slow in
The
the early
experiment
game,
will now
and
begin.
let's see if they're able to shape it out into a well scaling composition into the later stages of the game.
Are checking out Priz right now, starting things off in the factory, which has been the home of Skaz and Pymaster. Once the game starts to kind of ramp up a little bit, we see them taking control of that area with the heart picking up that team spirit and being
Yeah,
able to bully people out of that area.
definitely so. Pit Kid, like usual, going looting through alley. Averse going through the archer range, has the Heelys online. No real change ups there. But I think what to note in this game though is how people are going to identify into like grouping up early. We see people like Pulte getting punished if they're not already grouped up with Tulki, but even sometimes when they are grouped up, they're punished a bit. I think there's a lot of room for adjustments, like slight adjustments at this point in the game, even if they are maintaining with the same sort of style of play, the same compositions, there's still always gonna be room for improvement.
Yeah, there absolutely will be. And, they're going to continue to have to try and adapt through these games. There are still plenty more games to be played in Lumia Mania here before we find out who our winner will be. They have time for that adjustment.
Yeah, Tolki probably already on that carbonated water, just needs to find the battery here, is already grouped up with Pulte, and they are in dock actually way before Turk and Leon Black now. Maybe we can see a scenario where Turk and Leon will get bullied out, especially with Turk already porting in. However,
Ooh.
Celeste finding Prismat here. I don't think it'll be a kill, but
The air
yeah,
supply
Prismat
will
leveling
help
up, just
with
going to be
the
running
rest
away
of the
there. Is still, though, interesting aggression.
Yeah, it would have been huge actually if Celeste was able to pick up that kill on Prismat, as Prismat is on a team that is near the top of the table as far as standings is concerned. So
Yeah.
Celeste being able to find that kill early could have helped them quite a bit trying to catch up. But we do have the teleport into dock. I am curious if there still is Tolki and Pulte in dock, if they're going to look for that fight, but may not find it. Lauber going to be fighting with Nizori. Madru on the TAC 50 is there. The slow cutting off Lauber. He's just corralled, and Lauber is stuck here on the Magnus. He is going to get caught and go down as the first blood for Nizori and Madru. The white flag going out. Please, no. But he is going to be taken down by Madru and Nizori.
It's not even like this is the first time it's happened to Lauber. It's happened, I believe, at least 3 times over the course of this tournament. Madara is going to be that solo player right now. I mean, how can he make this work? Nizori and Madru. Madru on the TAC 50, going to be super... Actually, does he have TAC 50 right now? Yes, he does. He's going to be so strong in getting those early kills. Man, Madara, you got to get out of here.
Yeah, Madara's just going to have to rat jam a bit. Maybe look for some third parties. Try and hold on for as long as possible on the twin bow. Just going to be going off and farming on this Nadine. Just trying to live.
Yeah, we see Madara with the angles already prepped and ready. Was able to hit the bat and the board there with that Q. So very experienced Nadine player, as we know. But they also know that there is Nizori and Madru walking in. So they're like, all right, you guys have the archer range now. Have fun. Moving on over to Hotel, trying to finish the rest of this build here. And yeah, Pulte and Tolki did get a kind of, I don't know if they got chased out of dock, but they are in Uptown right now, getting their builds on the line. Not going to be getting griefed at all.
Yep, having a much better early game than they have in the previous games. Maybe trying to look to repeat the success that they had earlier in the day. Maybe find a big first place to try and turn this all around for them.
Yeah. And as we see on the map right now, everyone's going to be paired up with their duos right now, not wanting to get caught out. Usually you want to be kind of grouped up by the night phase of day 1, if not earlier, optimally. And we saw because Lauber was just getting picked off with that in mind. Now Pie Master and Skaz around this forest area. There's still about a minute to go on this forest tree, but they will be looking for it as they have been over the course of the previous games.
Yeah, I wonder if there will be a fight over the forest tree this time. I know we see Pulte and Tolki in the area. I'm not sure how much they really care about the Tree of Life. Definitely Pie Master and Skaz are going to go for it once again, and I just don't know if any team is going to collapse there.
Yeah, not sure. Turk and Leon, you don't really, I mean, you do really want to fight into the duo that is going to be Gummy God and Basant, as they are early game AR users, but dodging that one out, Gummy and Basant now moving forward into the chapel area once the other players leave. 20 seconds to go for this Tree of Life. Oh, actually the hotel tree was still up at this time, and Nizori's able to grab it.
Oh,
Blazing Dress. Yeah, Blazing Dress once again, going to be online soon if they have the lighters available.
Yeah, Nizori, we talked about earlier, it felt like he started every game with a Blazing Dress. Well, he's had a lot more trouble in the first 2 games of the finals lobby, but this time looking like he'll be able to get that online. And a much better game for Nizori and Madru now that Celeste is not on the Sylvia beating them up around the hotel area.
Yeah. Tolki and Pulte. Oh, Tolki actually on the Moonlight Pendant. That's a great Razi item. Gives some attack power, gives some lifesteal as well. And you don't get lifesteal from building Electron Blaster as opposed to the Boa. So that's going to be great. They are just kind of sitting in the bush camping now. Maybe waiting for the rotation out of Skaz and Pie Master. I'm not sure which ways they traditionally rotate out, but if it is towards Chapel, this could be huge.
Yeah, potentially massive if they run down that way, but no. Looks like they're just going out towards Uptown. Be exiting there, maybe trying to find a little bit more loot, do their crafts, make that Laurel Wreath if possible.
It is definitely risky for Tolki and Pulte to do that because they do lose time if they don't get anything from it, where they could be, farming their builds, they could be farming mastery, but they don't actually get anything from that bush camp. But it was a good look though, and I do like it. They did kite out, or not kite out, but they did walk away, I suppose, without losing an insane amount of time. Everyone kind of in their own little spots once again, as we see on the map here. Priz and Pit Kid in the Avenue area, but it's still 3 minutes, 30 seconds left to go for Wickaline, so a bit early for that one. Cemetery Tree gonna be, once again, the next objective. Pulte and Tolki are around there, similarly to Leon Black and Turk.
Yeah, I mean, currently that might be our next fight. Everybody just kind of taking a piece of Lumia Island for themselves for each of these teams, as the Rat Hunters themselves, Pit Kid and Priz, find Madara, who is the solo. He might be able to get out of this one. He is pretty fast on the feather boots, but he is starting to get run down. Has a lot of poke back onto Pit Kid and Prismat, but Just gonna keep trying to run away. Tree of Life in a minute in Cemetery, and we'll see if a fight happens there. But really, PinkWard doesn't want to give up Madara. He wants this kill. He knows that he's alone. He knows that there's not going to be a team to back him up. But don't want to chase too far as we have a fight in Hospital. Bloom and Averse going on to Turk and Leon Black. But Turk and Leon Black realizing that they're not winning this just yet. Going to try and kite away. A great bow skill from Averse, landing the slow and a little bit of extra damage, as they do seem to want this fight, but it doesn't feel like they're going to be able to catch up. Pretty good food ticking for Leon and for Turk, and they should be able to walk away from this one.
Yeah, no bike available. It was used in the beginning of that fight. It looks like Madara might actually be getting caught a little bit here. I'll have to check in on that in a bit, but at least not for now. Just people poking on into each other. But yeah, here is Madru and Nizori trying to find Madara here. But Madara, the 1v2 Lord, maybe he's going to get one kill with a fadeaway Q. Doesn't do it.
Tries to, but he's going to run into Skaz and Pie Master, and now he's definitely caught. Gets stunned into the wall by Skaz, but who picks up the kill? We'll have to see in a second. As Madru's popping off shots with that sniper skill, Pie Master grabbed the kill onto Madara. Nizori trying to slow down Skaz and trying to catch up on that one, but not going to be able to find too much more. Gets the slow onto Pie Master, but it is a Heart, and Heart does have plenty of mobility. Does feel like there's a move speed advantage currently for Nizori, but overall, I don't think they're going to be able to chase too far.
Oh, it looks like actually, yeah, Turk lost a Leon Black there. Leon Black gonna be getting finished there by Averse and Bloom. But Prismat going in.
There for the third party, gets the fear onto Bloom as Averse gets immediately taken down by the dual sword rampage of PinkWard. And once again, they're going to pick up Averse fairly early on. This is much earlier than the other games, however. And Bloom is now gonna have to go for the Rat Jam once more.
Yeah, this is great by Prismat and PinkWard here. I think they've found a good balance between being too passive early and just aggressive enough. And this a little bit of slight aggression, they will, because they play these fights so mechanically well, able to pick up kills, able to accelerate themselves even further. Wickline in a minute, but Tolki and Polti are going to come in here. They want a piece of this pie. Tolki, though, no arm piece and no armor completed right now. The build's a little bit lacking, even for Polti as well. I wonder kind of where they got behind in this game, because they probably cannot step to PinkWard and Prismat, even without Prismat's ultimate up.
No, they definitely can't with these builds. They need to find a lot more. I mean, we see the EODs completed for Polti, but that wasn't really the problem area, as we see now Priz and PinkWard collapsing down. Priz potentially going to look for this engage. They definitely notice that they're stronger, as PinkWard dashing forward with the dashing gentleman going to go ahead and button up and try and dash once more. Priz trying to make his way in, does tag the slow and the root onto Polti, going to get the fear into the stun, the caltrops, and the dual sword rampage. Going to try and pick up Polti, but he does get the knockback and finds the bike away. And Polti might be able to get out of that one, but he's completely split from Tolki now, as PinkWard and Priz really want to keep chasing this. It does seem interesting to go all the way for the chase with Wick spawning. Would like to see them start to move back towards the Wick line, as the two AR brothers here, Desant and Aya, Desant and Gummy, going to be trying to take a little bit of positioning.
Nizori and Madru in position for the Wick there. Are they doing it this whole time?
Yeah.
It looks like it, actually. Gummy and Passant are not in. Okay, Prismat jumps over the wall. Okay, no, Wickline's in
It's in
pond,
pond,
actually.
yeah.
Yeah, they weren't doing it. Okay, so Wick's still on the table. 3 teams posturing around, even as well the Magnus up there towards the temple area. Not going to see a free Wick, at least in this game.
Yeah, not able to grab the free Wick, as we see it walking back through pond towards Avenue once more. See who decides to contest it, as Priz and PinkWard are walking towards it as well. Celeste just going to grab the console, try and make sure that they can find safety in this area as they regroup with PinkWard. Madru and Nizori, once again, looking at the Wick line. Looks like they might just be able to grab this. I mean, Adriana takes this so quickly. And yeah, Madru and Nizori are able to grab it. Going to be able to utilize the DOT from Wick line so well with both of these characters.
And we saw a kind of similar pacing of the game when Madru and Nizori got their win earlier on into today. They have some strong builds online, Auto Arms and Blazing Dress for Nizori. Madru doesn't have, nearly as strong of items as he did earlier, but even still, Sniper Aya is going to be a menace with that poke potential, with that Wick buff. PinkWard and Prismat once again on the chase to Polti and Tolki. They got kind of lucky to escape last time. Can they do the same again? Looks like they will just be moving on over into Avenue, but they might run into Nizori and Madru.
Yeah, Nizori and Madru still in this area. Tolkien and Pulte are in so much trouble. There's the craft noise. I think Madru might have heard it. He actually kills the boar, and he's going to start a face check. Gets stunned in the wall. Tolkien's going to follow up, but doesn't land the ultimate. But he iframes on the blank cartridge. Tolkien with the mechanics going to be able to do everything he can to win this fight. But Nizori is a bit too scary with the Wick buff, and it looks like Tolkien and Pulte are just like, okay, we will take the one kill, and we're just going to get out of there and try and lick our wounds and maybe fight again later on.
I think it's kind of smart, actually. Toki and Pulte are so far behind. It's okay to let them res and maybe even just farm some more kills later on because they have such ground to make up here with the points. So I actually don't mind that. They don't let themselves have the opportunity to get third partied, to get punished for that. They just take the one kill, get on out of there. But now Priz once again with the hedge and engage.
Full engage doesn't connect on any of the fears though, and now they're getting kited by the Adriana. So much damage being taken. PinkWard back on this Emma. Really excited to see how he plays some of these fights as the game continues on. But for now, Celeste and PinkWard just want to back away and finish up a couple of crafts.
You cannot fight an Adriana and an Emma in these pond corridors here. It is way, way too scary. If they continued to chase, it surely would have gone the way of Celeste and PinkWard. So great identification, great use of abilities there. Celeste is on the Glacial Shoes. Has the Sheath of Shah Jahan, not the best Adriana item, but it's not going to be bad. Gives some tankiness over there as well. Bloom, once again, doing a little bit of rat gym. Has some better items this time, however, but still just sticking in the bushes, of course.
Yeah, Madru going to be chunking away at Pit Kid and Frizz, just poking with that sniper skill. Frizz and Pit Kid having to back away. Not going to be able to fight Nizori and Madru unless they get the jump, I think is kind of what we learned from Lobby A. They can get the jump on them, they can win, but any fight where Nizori and Madru kind of feel comfortable in their position is definitely going to be favored towards that Adriana and Aya.
Definitely. And as we talk about that point, I think some teams feel a bit more comfortable when they do have the position, as opposed to some players that if they face check, can react accordingly and correctly right after. It seems like Madru and Nizori, if they are in a face check situation, they seem a little bit shaky about recognizing what they should do in that snap second moment. So definitely, if they're able to get this, get some traps online to utilize with that Wick line buff, they're going to be chilling moving forward on here. But Control Ward and Celeste now running into Forest, getting kind of chased on out of here.
They are being chased away. There's no one that they're running into just yet, as Nizori and Madru are the pursuers. Got a couple rat jammers hanging out. Bloom chilling in the kind of corridor between school and hotel.
Oh, Madru doesn't have the Wick buff because of that down. When you get back up, the Wick buff is gone. So only Nizori actually has the Wick buff there for that team.
Oh, Bloom getting found by Madru and Nizori.
Oh.
Trying to coast his way through, but he's not a Drift King, and he is going to get caught out, and that is going to be Bloom falling. Kills going over to Madru and Nizori here. They've got the Wick. They've got some kills. The Wick running a little bit low on Nizori, and like you mentioned, Madru getting down is going to make him lose that buff.
Yeah.
They are
minute
still accelerated.
Minute and a half to 2 minutes left, it seems, on Nizori's Wick buff. They're making it work in terms of value right now. One of the rats has been found. Turk, the other solo player left alive, is an Avenue, hanging out by that bush near the alley. Lighters being exchanged here. Celeste and PinkWard gonna be caught here.
Yeah, looks like they still don't want this one sniper skill coming out. Celeste's going to take a lot of damage. A pretty good ultimate there from Nizori trying to slow him down, but the second one's going to whiff. He does cause some zone control as Celeste is dropping very low as Madru keeps poking him down, but PinkWard now getting a lot of damage, has access to the backline. He's on to Madru as Celeste is going to get third-partied on the side. PinkWard trying to make a big play as he gets poked down. The fact that Wick buff isn't on Madru is the only reason that PinkWard's still alive, but Skaz and Piemaster actually come through and steal away both of those kills away from Nizori and Madru. That is huge for Piemaster and Skaz.
Definitely. It looks like they want more as well. See if this actually ends up into anything. Madru, some blam, some snipes going out, but Skaz Piemaster say, all right, we'll just take the loot. You can get on out of here. But man, that was still some really good play, I think, from PinkWard. The fight was so disadvantageous from the opener, but Controlled recognizing they are just full going for Celeste right now. I can get so much damage off by just spamming abilities, walking into them, that honestly, they could have had a world where he was able to save Celeste there. Didn't end up going that way. way because of the third party scenario. Maybe it would have gone the other way
Yeah.
regardless, but still, just some good play I think there by
I,
PinkWard, even with them falling.
if it wasn't for the third party, I actually think that PinkWard might have pulled that off. I felt like he was actually winning towards
Yeah.
the end there, and plus Celeste would have survived a little bit longer, throw some abilities to help out. So because of the third party, Pymaster Scavs get 2 kills, PinkWard, Celeste go down, and now Gummy and Passant back on the double AR Enad builds, just shredding this Magnus as he tries to walk towards them, and we're
Yeah.
gonna see Pymaster and Scavs have to back off.
And they get the setup in this zone entirely and cut off everybody else. Chapel is going to be the final zone left remaining. So if anyone's going to be able to walk towards there, they are going to be met with a bunch of isol traps and just the AR just actually tearing through everybody else. The Enad is going to be so strong. Pulte here and Tolki just chilling. Turk still chilling top side of Avenue. Maybe Prison Pit
Oh,
Kid have a hunch of what's going on here.
yeah, I mean, the Rat Exterminators, once again, Prison Pit Kid, finding Turk.
Yeah,
Not going
he
to
can-
chase him too far. Turk can TP out of there, but
yeah.
hunting.
The TP though, let's see where it lands. Will it be? Oh,
he's
TP is
safe.
behind. Yeah, TP is behind coming out in Passant. So actually that was one of the best scenarios that could have happened there. Good thing he chose there over the Forest, because Forest would have been so doomed.
Bro, he's got bodyguards. He's chilling in Chapel, and anyone who tries to enter Chapel has to go through Gummy and Passant. They're going to be
Yeah.
shooting everyone down. There's going to be a huge fights here. There's no good teleporter outside of Avenue, and Pit Kid and Priz don't know this. They don't know what they're walking into in Forest. So they're not teleporting to Chapel, even though in this scenario it would be smartest to, but
Yeah.
from their vision, from their idea of what the game state is, it would be very weird to go for that play, as we're going to see Pulte get caught out by the Charm. He's going to get taken down very quickly by Pymaster and Skaz, and Tolki is just going to run all the way around to Chapel from the red zone as we see him making his way around. He's going to join Turk in the safe zone behind the wall that is Gummy and Passant as Madra and Nizori check into it. They're going to be getting burned down by these Enad players here. Passant going to grab Madra. Nizori is still left. More fights happening on the other side of things. Skaz trying to chase down Nizori with the bike. Lands one more slow. Prison Pit Kid going to finally be able to move through as the wall has been broken down by Pymaster and Skaz. Madru was the casualty there as Nuzori does escape, but Pulte is going to go down. Pymaster was the one who sniped the kill onto Pulte, as Pymaster is going to get Nuzori as well, and Passant gets the kill on Madru. Now we just have Turk, the Rat, being chased down by the 2 Enad players, Gummy and Passant. The route going to connect onto Turk. You have to wait for that to land, and then Tolki's going to try and steal it. Tolki's going for the kill. Tolki does get it. He rats away with one more kill, and now he's being chased down by Gummy and Passant. The route going to miss, and Tolki's going to continue to run away. Landing the slow down onto Passant. Gummy going to try and finish that off, but the boar is going to greet Passant. A great pull from Tolki to do that. Skaz now cutting off onto Passant, gets the stun down, and Skaz getting a lot of damage, setting up the charm for Pymaster, and the finish goes down onto that Isol, as Pymaster and Skaz have played this final zone beautifully, being able to pick up so many kills here. Pymaster now with 5.
The
Now
action.
Prismat.
Yeah. The action starts and it does not stop here. We're going to be continuing to get some fights because the zone only has 30 seconds remaining. We have 2 full duos right now, and Gummy and Tolki are solos, but they're just duking it out over there. Looks like Gummy might go down to Tolki here.
Yeah.
A great blank cartridge to separate some space, and Tolki runs away. Prismat and Pit Kid trying to go for that kill onto Gummy God, though, and they will secure it.
They do get it. The dual sword rampage going to finish it off after the root lands from Priz. And now we have Priz and Pit Kid going to be moving towards the final zone, where Pymaster and Skaz have set up plenty of traps. They've got themselves ready. Tolki trying to kite in, but the fire trap going to land. He does have some iframes to avoid a little bit, but he is going to get caught in all of these and go down to Skaz. That is one more kill for Skaz and Pymaster. And now it is Priz and Pit Kid. A lot of the traps were taken out by Tolki, helping them out, but Pit Kid is just going to dive in, tanking up as much as he can. Lands the coup de grace on 2 as the combo comes out in the spin to win on top of the Yuki. Yuki finally going to go down, but Priz in a 1v2 scenario, but both of his opponents are very low. Skaz escaping with his life for now into the red zone, going to be ticking timer as Priz tries to trade with Pymaster, but the Enad heart scaled into the late game is just doing far too much, and that is going to be 2 more kills and a 9-kill first overall for Skaz and Pymaster, bringing them well back into this game.
Well, back into this game, indeed. 9 kills, I believe, ties the record that we've seen here for today on kills in this tournament. Wonderful, wonderful performance there. You noted it. They played that last zone beautifully. There was a lot of action going on there. It was actually really, really great for Tulki to not only pick up the kill actually onto Turk, but also to escape after that and even play to secure placement past Passant and Gummy God, who were the two that originally were chasing or chasing Tulki down. That was some great stuff. Pitkid and Prismat as well. Another solid game. Only 2 kills though, but with a second place, that is some really really good points. Skaz and Pie Master, however, they played that so well. They have that Magnus Heart combo down to a T. The dance party comes out while Skaz is spinning, and that is way too much damage for anyone in that final zone to deal with.
Yeah, they've been able to land this combo so beautifully, and they're looking so incredibly good coming off that game. A lot of kills early. This is the team that's been kind of the most aggressive, right? It's been that Skaz and Pie Master
Yeah.
finding a lot of these kills in their qualifier lobby earlier on, but even in the finals, they're continuing to put out that pressure with this Heart Magnus. I don't know why I don't even remember what they played in game one, but it wasn't this, and I don't know why they ever weren't on this because it's been looking really, really good for these two players.
Completely agree there. It's like, hey, recognize it was good recognition though, recognizing that whatever they played first, it wasn't working out. And this is the thing to switch to. And it's been working out ever since then. Getting kills, even if they didn't place high in the lobbies, but now I believe it's their first place of today. And they did it in such a dominant fashion there. I'd be really, really curious to see how these scores do shape up when we have them. We'll have to wait in just a few seconds to get those online. But man, these games, they continue to impress. I think Passant and Gummy God do have something working well for them with the double AR. It's not netting them wins, but it's netting them, a top 4, top 3 placement sometimes with a couple of kills. But man, it's just so well played, I think, by nearly everyone in this lobby. Actually, I will say everyone in this lobby.
Yeah, and I mean, as we're approaching, that was game number 3. We're approaching into game number 4. Just this is a $5,000 tournament on the line. First place gonna get 1,500. Second, 1,000. Third, 750. But every single player that has made it to the final will be going home with a little bit of that prize pool. They are just all, of course, wanting the bigger chunk with first place. But we are going to take a look at what the scores are like now going into the next game, as I'm sure there are plenty of people at 50 points that have activated the win condition.
Plenty. Okay, yeah, there are. There are 3 of them at that threshold. Skaz and Pie Master, 68 points. Oh man, they're even nearing that 80-point threshold as well. Prisma and Pickett at the 60, Turk and Leon 54. If either one of those 3 teams are able to get a victory, that will be tournament over and they will be champions.
Yep, they will be able to win if they do get to 50 points. If they do get the first place, because they have hit 50 points. Now,
Yeah.
on the other side of this, Skaz and Pie Master scored so many points in that game that they are close to that 80-point threshold. They may not need to win as long as neither of the other teams do that have 50 plus.
Yeah.
So they might be able to win with the 80 points overall. It looks like it's shaping up that this may be our final game, but not guaranteed.
It looks pretty likely that it will be, so we'll have to see how that all pans out. I'm really excited moving forward. I think with this kind of dynamic in line, not only can there be a victory from any one of those teams, but also doesn't have to be a victory from Skaz and Pie Master. They can just get middle of the pack placement like they have done for so much today. And as long as other 2 teams don't win, they still could be champions here. There's a lot really riding on this game number 4.
Yeah, there is a lot. And because there's so much riding on the game number 4, we're going to take a quick breather before we get into it. Give the players a chance to grab some water, stretch their legs. You should do the same in chat. Going to take a short break, but don't go anywhere. The very the finals of Lumia Mania will continue after this. Welcome back to Lumia Mania Duo Invitational brought to you by Wisdom Media GG. We have played a long day of Eternal Return Black Survival action here, and we are finally in the finals in game 4, potentially the final game of the tournament for a couple teams that are kind of at that win condition or could break that 80 points. And Khroen, I mean, it's not guaranteed to be the final game, but it is guaranteed to be a banger. That's how much I'll tell you. This game number 4.
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot on the line here. We were talking about it a bit during the break. It is likely the game will end here, but if Skaz and Pie Master, fall early, as well as I believe it was Prisma and Pit Kid. If they fall early, it could, go to another game. And I think that is very well possible because all these players are going to recognize the 3 teams that are in that win condition area. If they win, the tournament is going to be just over. So maybe some tactical focusing going to start happening there. Of course, nothing like, too insane, but you got to keep that in mind going through in this what could be final game.
Yeah, it absolutely does shake up the strategy. You don't want the tournament to end if you're not the one who's ending it on your terms and winning
Yeah.
the title and winning the first place. So I mean, we did see some shakeups here. PinkWard on Jackie, Celeste on Shukai. This is
Oh.
really out of left field for me. I was not expecting this one.
I wonder what's the thought process behind this change, but what's the thought process behind the change being specifically Shukai and Jackie, the first Jackie that we're seeing here. And while Jackie can rat jam it up fairly well in solos, I don't really see her being too strong of a duo's kind of character here. So, but I very much want to be proved wrong. I want to see some dope plays coming out of PinkWard yet again. We are loading on into what could be the final game of Lumia Mania cast. So let's get it underway.
All right, we're jumping right on into it. We're going to see, I mean, of course, these lobbies have not had a lot of action in the very, very early game. It does feel like we have a bit of fighting that can happen around the factory area with Skaz and Pie Master, or we'll find something around Uptown with Leon Black, but not too much overall as actually
Speaking
Big
of.
Kid getting a little beat up by Skaz and Pie Master for a second here. Slowing him down as they try and teleport down over to that factory.
Normally, I'd be really worried for a team that kind of gets pushed out of that zone like Pitkid just did. But with how generally like slow and consistent that Pitkid and Prismat play these games, I think they'll be able to recover from that pretty well, even if their pacing is kind of off here. Turk going to be killing that chicken. Hopefully it has leather for his sake there. But Gummy was just porting on out at that point. Skaz and Pie Master, of course, in the factory, but Pulte is there. Pulte, a member who could fall here. We see some aggression from Celeste. Blobber crafting on over there, but everyone just kind of going their own separate ways after farming a little bit of that weapon mastery.
Trying to continue to move through the school here, getting a little bit of the weapon mastery, like you said. This is Dagger Jackie, which can have some early aggression and do a lot of damage,
Sure.
chase people down with the Shukai. They are kind of just chasing Nizori and Madru right now, but Celeste is taking a lot of damage for them.
Yeah, generally it's not going to be Dagger Jackie that wants to be super aggressive in the early game, but they are still going aggressive here, but they can't find too much because of it. There is too much good escape potential there for Nizori and Madru. Pie Master actually is falling to the Tolkien and Pulte team.
Yeah, they find Pie Master, and that's really going to hurt this team. Skaz and Pie Master is one of the teams that needs to win. I mean, it's happening. They are taking a lot here. This is going to be Pie Master going down, and Skaz has to rat jam it up to try and score enough points to hit that 80-point win condition and hope that neither Prismat nor Turk win the lobby.
Yeah, there's actually a lot of pressure on Skaz right now for that to happen, because while normally your duo goes out in the early game, it's like, okay, I'll just rat for whatever replacement I can get to, but it's not going to be, too impactful, whatever I am going to get to. But now, Skaz, I believe, if my memory serves me correct, needs at least like a 4th place, maybe 3rd, in order to get the win. I'll have to double check that one, however.
Yeah, I mean, it is going to be insane. Skaz has to play out of his mind on the Rat Jam Magnus and just keep himself safe for a very long time if he's going to want to come out on top in this tournament. with a first place finish.
Yeah, needs a fourth place in order to get that 80-point threshold, if I'm not mistaken. And that is very doable, actually, if you're able to rat jam to some success. I wonder if Skaz will try to just be full, sitting in a bush the whole time, or if he's going to try to continue on his build. Madara, though, great spacing there, great scroll trap to continue that distance from Celeste. Lobber, though, getting, aggressed upon by other members as well, is able to bike on out of there. So they get a bit of a reset button here, hopefully.
Yeah, going to be able to bike out of that one, trying to reset with Madara, trying to look to just get their items, get themselves online. Hopefully for them, they're trying to find the win, and they're hoping that no one else can hit 80 points. So they love to see that Pie Master has gone down. They're going to want to find Skaz, and they're going to want to try and shut down Prismat and Turk's teams as well in this game.
Yeah, definitely so. I mean, yeah, there is the world where the tournament does not end here, so it opens up a bunch of worlds where teams like Nozori and Madru, or perhaps even like Turk and Leon, Verse and Bloom, they could get up to that 50-point threshold and win next game. There's so many possibilities happening here, but try to contain my excitement for that as we see Madru getting maybe caught here by Celeste.
PinkWard jumps right into that blank cartridge and takes a ton of damage. Madru going to be able to take them down, and now going on to Celeste. That is going to be 2 quick kills, and we're going to see Celeste and PinkWard going out. Madru picking up both of those, and that's going to be 2 kills for Nozori's team overall.
Yeah, the pivot over to that Jackie and Shukai didn't end up working out for Celeste and PinkWard there. I can respect a bit of changing up. It's like, okay, we have to change something up, get a pop-off game, but you can tell, really, they weren't just comfortable with that play style. Control Ward, PinkWard jumping on into that a bit too aggressively, but it's an Aya with purple weapon, with that blink cartridge available, and they got punished so hard because of that.
Yeah, they absolutely did, and they're definitely not going to be able to continue on in this one. They get just shut down, and the strategy change just didn't really work out. As you mentioned, the Aya just going to be able to do too much, and Audrey and Nozori is another team that has pretty low points so far in the finals.
Yeah,
trying to make their way back up and trying to catch up, hopefully for them, or they're hoping that the lobby will continue onward. There will be more games.
This game could be huge for them, getting 2 kills off the bat. They're in the lead currently in this game in points. Prismat and PitKid, as mentioned earlier, they're not going to be too far behind, even with PitKid getting chased out of Alley earlier on. Averse and Bloom on the hunt right now, and Bloom's looking pretty tanky. They are eating a bit of red zone timer, but with a few teams converging here, could see some action.
Yeah, we've got Madara and Lauber crafting in the hospital. Bloom gonna check in, trying to find who is there. Sees Lauber. Not going to commit too much, though. They do know that Priz and PitKid are nearby. Don't want to get themselves caught between these 2 teams. Definitely trying to find their way back into this one. They do have a good amount of points so far across this lobby, but they aren't able to win on this one, as they aren't quite at the 50th threshold.
Yeah, not quite, at least as of now. Checking on in with some of the masteries in this lobby. Not many people have reached the level 7 or above. Madara, of course, on that Nadine is Nozori and Maju, both post 7, but those are the only 3 players, I believe, yeah, who have the weapon skills available.
Are going to be a bit stronger if they get into fights right now. Gummy and Passant just continuing to loot through with the Enad. As you mentioned, I mean, it's been working pretty well as far as placements are concerned. For Gummy and Passant. See if they can actually grab a first maybe this time, as there's a lot of people in Beach. As we actually see PitKid getting aggressed on by Madru and Nozori. He's cutting away, does sidestep a little bit as Priz is now there, but Priz is being aggressed on by Leon Black. Priz is in a very bad spot as he has just used his gap closer. He did fear Leon. He's starting to cut away. The coup de grace going to go on to Turk, but now Lauber is there. Lauber is going to pick up the kill onto Priz, and Leon and Turk are now starting to potentially try and run away from this. They did get out without having to compete more in these third parties, and Prismat is down. Priz and Pie Master are down, so Turk and Leon Black are the last team that has 50 points with both of their members left alive.
It's happening, Cass. These players recognizing who the threats are in this lobby, and they don't want them to have the chance to be able to close it on out. Turk and Leon, the only hope of that remaining, it seems. Of course, with a huge pop-off game, maybe someone else can kind of get more than 30 points and bridge that gap, but we'll have to see how the scores shake up after to see if that actually occurred. But for now, it's looking like we might get another game here.
Potentially, unless Turk and Leon can pull this one out, or if Skaz can continue the rat jamming and maybe find his way to that victory. Skaz has done a good job so far, not getting caught and actually farming up a decent amount so that his HP is high enough to try and run away.
Yeah, level 11 there, still farming it out, still building accordingly. See, Lauber and Madara gonna be porting onto somewhere. It's always curious seeing these ports. Of course, with that port kind of change fix there, you could port exact same time as your allies. It's a bit safer to utilize that, but you still can get punished for it. Speaking of
Oh,
punished, Leon Black might catch Pulte, but a good bike there, making sure no hook is gonna come out and catch him.
yeah, just going to get away with that motorbike. We see Leon still kind of on the chase here. Not going to go too aggressive. We do have Ulti and Tolki walking into Majra and Nizori.
Yeah, it's a fight they could win potentially, even without the bike. But Tolki is not really on a great build right now. We see Turk is almost completed build, but I believe Tolki is missing like 3 pieces there, so they really don't want to fight if they can help it. Averse though, getting the fear onto Leon.
Yeah, gets the fear onto Leon, but not going to get much more than that. Doesn't want to commit to the fight. It looks like Leon and Turk are just a little too strong. Averse did not want it because it looked like it could be a good engage. Did land a lot of abilities onto both members, and they were stacked, but
Yeah.
Averse feeling like he and Bloom are not strong enough just yet.
Yeah, Verse reassessing those situations where he goes a bit aggressive and gets punished for it, because that has happened over multiple times in this finals lobby so far, I believe twice. So not wanting to go too over aggressive, just wants to play it smart. Madra and Nozori once again with that blazing dress. Now Cube Watch from the Adriana as well. Not the best item there, I would say, skilling wise, but it's still strong. And it does net that early game power that would be great. Auto attacks from that Adriana, you cannot just ignore them forever.
Yeah, you definitely cannot. I mean, this is a pretty auto attack centric build for Nizori. Going to be able to do a lot, but now going to go a bit tankier as we would expect. Going to be able to pick up that Aegis and get a little bit more HP.
Yeah. Madra here, near full build, still on that chain coif, however. Maybe Mithril Helm in the future. Wickeline has arrived. We're already 10 minutes into this game, Kaz. It has not felt as though it is 10 minutes, but no one over here ready to secure that wick. It is going to walk towards the cemetery as it does when Avenue is closing. Tolkien and Pulte up in the alley, but I believe there was a team over that cemetery area, so maybe we'll see a wick kill here soon.
Yeah, potentially. Tolki on Chinese Opera Mask actually going to give him a lot of move speed, and that lifesteal is going to be pretty nice on the Razi in general. That stat is kind of almost best served on her and Jackie, I guess, are the 2 users that we generally will see that lifesteal utilized.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, it looks like there is the AR team over in Cemetery. They are, trying to do the wick line there, so they might just get it for free. We'll see here in but a moment.
Yeah, looks like they may be working on that, and Passant
Yeah,
is going to get the skill on the wick line.
yeah.
They're going to grab that, and we'll see what Gummy and Passant can get off of that overall. Maybe some red shoes for one of them could help out quite a bit. These 2 Enad builds are going to come online pretty soon here.
Yeah, Red Shoes isn't going to be like a huge upgrade there. Feather Boots with the move speed and the attack speed is generally pretty good, but still might be a bit of an upgrade there. They still could actually, I think, might be what they turn towards some remote mines, but Madara actually and Lauber getting a kill over onto Averse there. Averse getting punished yet again. Didn't quite see to what, but that bodes very, very poorly for their chances here in this tournament.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's just Lauber finding the catch again, getting the crowd control down, because I can't imagine that Averse died while being able to cast abilities and escape. We generally see him being too good at that, so it's just got to be Lauber landing a stun, Madara having the damage and just pumping through.
Definitely. Now it's up to Bloom, Rat Jam, and there's the Magnuses being the solo players, along with the Yuki as well. These melee people going to struggle when we reach the end game. We still have to note Skaz. If he rats up to a 4th place, that will be tournament over.
Yeah, Leon getting sniped right now. Madru and Nizori definitely going to want to try and eliminate Leon and Turk, knowing that that is the only duo that they have to present from getting first left in the lobby. There are some solos, there's some rats, but you generally don't expect the rats to hit first. People are going to be wanting to hunt Skaz at a certain point. They're going to know that, hey, we can't let Skaz survive to 4th.
Yeah, definitely. People are going to be aware of that. I would imagine Turk and Leon, they are still both alive. They're on pretty strong builds. They could be that threat in this and ending this game. However, Pit Kid still, I believe, could rat it out. I don't know. I don't remember exactly how many points they had, but maybe there's a chance of
It's
that
60.
happening
They
as
need
well.
20, so he'd have to
Okay.
rat to first with a kill.
With a kill, yeah. It's possible with a
It is
well-placed Yuki ulti.
possible.
Not to say it couldn't happen, because it could. But it is more unlikely, of course, of Skaz just ratting to a fourth. No real fights happening at this point in the game. Leon Black and Turk, though, might actually find something here between Tulki and Pulti. Have to watch out for this.
And we'll see if they find the face check. Leon is very tanky, and actually Turk has a good amount of HP between the motorcycle helmet and the magazine. Mithril Shoe is going to give some good defense as well. This build is
Yeah.
quite strong for Turk right now. Overall, Turk and Leon looking in a very good position.
Leon might
Oh,
face check
Leon.
here, however.
And he doesn't have Turk. He doesn't have Turk near him. Leon getting caught out. He's so tanky. He might be able to actually escape from this
Oh,
one.
wow.
On that Leanox, just the damage, it's just not there between a Magnus and a Rossi.
That's lucky, actually. If the slow had landed onto Leon there and they got like a good wall stun, that could have just been the end of their chances here to get a win. But Leon, very, very tanky, as you mentioned, was able to walk out of that one. Turk and, or excuse me, it was Tulki and Polton not wanting to kind of overstep there and get punished for it. Passant, though, and Gummy looking at Madru.
Yeah, Passant and Gummy on the Madru right now. The Sniper Aya trying to back up and utilize their range. Utilizing the range of the Sniper Aya and of the Adriana. A very, very strong duo. We've seen the whole tournament in some of these kind of just 2v2 skirmishes with their spacing being incredibly difficult to deal with.
Definitely. Nozori, yet again, that blazing dress. And I do want to take a moment to actually talk about Tolki's build there, because while it was, or I think it was Turk's build actually, it was Turk's. His build was kind of that build that you went as like day one Razi, and it's not the one that people generally go a lot of times nowadays, but it's what gets online between like the 3 zone of BH like Dock and Hospital, I think. We get a little bit of a vroom vroom out there from Bloom, gonna be escaping with that bike.
He almost ran into Skaz hiding in the corner, almost revealing his position, but Skaz going to continue to hide as Passant and Gummy still locked in Mortal Kombat with Madru and Nozori fighting back and forth, not being able to get much, and Bloom going to be hiding in the red zone.
Bloom might walk into Skaz there, actually.
Yeah, he
I
could.
think they will. And if he does, he doesn't want to team up with Skaz. He wants Skaz to fall.
Yeah, he wants Skaz to die. He might just want to make noise.
Oh, he
around
ran all the way
Skaz,
around.
but he did not find him.
Yeah. Oh, man, that could have been...
Skaz got found.
He got found. What's going to happen here, Skaz? Where are you going to go?
Yeah, Lobber season. They know exactly that Skaz cannot live to top 4 if they want the potential of this to continue, but Skaz going to be able to get away from there. Going to run into Bloom. Now losing a lot of timer, though, so that is the worry for Skaz.
Yeah, Toki getting respawn here is going to be able to pop that pistol, scale that W, and walk away as well on that Chinese Opera mask. But still, the range there from Adriana's are insane.
Yeah, the range is monstrous. Trying to catch on to Pulti and Tolki. We have the sniper skill come out from Madru. Not chunking too hard just yet. It is only the first rank of sniper skill, but it is hitting pretty hard. As Skaz and Bloom are going to make a chain of Magnuses and run around in circles, as they are now a team of a duo Magnuses ready to take on the world.
I'm sure that Bloom knows with the, Verse being on comms that they don't want Skaz to get at least a fourth there. And it's okay now. There's still a bunch of teams remaining, but once you get to that, top 5 scenario, you're probably going to want to grief your temporary ally there, I suppose, and wouldn't be surprised to see that happen. They are, however, now going to be allied, it looks like.
Yeah, I think it does make sense for now. I think what you explained is really correct. And I think that, Bloom's going to want to use Skaz as bait to help him live a little bit longer. He wants, he knows everyone wants to kill Skaz. So he's going to try and bait him in and then potentially just, betray him at the end as all 3 rats are in factory. Rats together strong, even though they are not teaming as 3 just yet. And of course they will not because they already have a team of 2. But Bloom only with 3 seconds is going to be the first to go through, runs into the squirrel trap and will be taken down by Laber and Madara.
Skaz, though, what's his timer looking like? I'm wondering. 9 seconds, 8. Will be about 5. Oh, he's going around the long way, though. Skaz, can you make it in time? I don't know if you can.
He can't.
No.
Skaz can't make it. Oh no, Skaz. He goes
Pick
down.
Kid as well. The other player who could potentially end it. Pick Kid maybe going to go down to Lobber and Madara.
It is just up to Turk and Leon Black, and they are in a fight right now with Tolki, trying to snowball themselves a little bit further as they are very strong already in this lobby, both at level 16. But the only team left that can actually end the tournament this game is Turk and Leon Black with a first place finish.
Oh boy, they chase out Tolki, don't get the kill. Tolki lives another day. Where is Polti? At the other side of Hotel there. They gotta rest up. They gotta link back up together here because they need to be able to take out Turk and Leon if they want any chances of winning this tournament.
Yeah, they're going to have to. It seems like a lot of the teams are gonna, probably end up focusing them towards the final zone, trying to live on a little bit longer to move us to potentially an opportunity if Turk and Leon don't win, where a lot of teams are in a winner-take-all scenario.
Definitely. Gummy and Passant, again, kind of playing bodyguards in that chapel area. They aren't set up in that forest choke like they were earlier. They did actually get at least one kill, I believe, earlier because of that positioning, but they're just going to be looking to bush camp. Tulki and Polti, they might run into them. 4 teams now in chapel. Looks like they're all going to be giving each other some space, claiming their own bushes here. But oh no, when Turk and Leon walk into here, are they just going to get sandwiched? It looks like they might.
They will be stuck between 2 teams, and that's going to be really tough. But Polti and Tolki give their position, and now it's just Madru and Nizori going to start the fight onto Leon. They get some decent damage down straight away, but Turk and Leon are able to kite back. They're able to find another better position and get away from Madru and Nizori.
That was looking a little spooky, less so now, but now Gummy and Passant are pinching Nizori and Madru. Turk and Leon being the players from above. Nizori and Madru, the hook misses, the blank cartridge hits.
Yeah, it does connect onto Leon. He's going to take quite a bit of damage, but now Turk is pushing back Nizori and Madru. But Leon has fallen quite low, and so is Turk, so they decide they want to back off. They want to heal the full. They want to make sure that they can make it to the final zone in a comfortable position, but they are still being poked at by Nizori and by Madru. The sniper skill going to continue to put pressure onto Turk as they continue to get poked out, and their food is being incredibly taxed. We see Leon only ticking. Okay, now he's ticking higher. He was at 30, now it's 40s. 45, yeah. But they're going to run out of food eventually as they continue to take this poke damage.
They're playing it about as well as they can, but will it matter? You're going to be able to rest up, walk back into the zone, but Madru here, standing watch, being the sentry, poking out Leon. The hook is going to connect.
You poked by Leon, but Tolki and Polti are here now trying to step in for the third party. Madru's going to fall, but lands the blank cartridge. Leon and Turk are trying to live against Tolki and Polti, but Nizori is there as well, and Turk looks like he's going to go down. Leon's still alive, but now every team has joined the party, and Lauber coming in with the big bike with Madara on the side, gonna pick up a couple more kills as Leon escapes out into the red. Can Leon stay alive a little bit longer though? Turk is alive. Turk is alive. If Leon can make it back, he can revive him, but Lauber has found Leon Black, and Madara and Lauber should be able to pick this off, and they do. So now it's Madara and Lauber going up against Gummy and Passant in the final zone, but this means, Khroen, we're gonna have a game number 5.
We're gonna have a game number 5, but these placements will still matter for that game number 5. Gummy and Passant, as well as Madara and Lauber, very much need this victory. Already 8 kills between Madara and Lauber. Their mastery is advantage. Can they close this one out here, or will the traps from Gummy and Passant be able to turn an end to this?
Yeah, the smart bombs coming out from Passant. They're trying to clear away what they can. Fire trap coming down as well. The double Enad gonna just shred through Lauber, but he does get the stun connected onto Gummy, and Madara is trying to follow up with those Qs, trying to deal as much damage as he can. The traps are not coming into play yet as Lauber does trigger them now, but Gummy is getting poked out, and Madara snipes him over the wall. Gummy is down. Passant the only one left, but he does not have much HP, and it looks like Lauber and Madara should be able to take this as Passant walks back in, but Lauber going to just bike on top of him. The camouflage coming forward onto the fire trap, and Lauber landing the double stun into the wall, and now Lauber and Madara taking first place in this game. We're going to a game 5. How many teams will be on game point though? That is what I want to know.
I want to know that as well. I'm so excited to look at these scores. That was 10 kills between Madara and Lauber. They have broken the record today out of most kills at the end of a game. It was 9, now it's 10. They are making a statement saying this tournament will not end here. We want to be the ones that are victorious. We want to be able to show everyone what we are made of. And man, we know that game was going to be spicy going on into it. We didn't know it was going to be this spicy.
Yeah, we said spicy. We thought it might end here, but no. The exact conditions, the exact circumstances that we needed to have a game 5 all came true. and now we're going to have one with all of these teams competing.
Oh man, that is crazy. What can we even talk about in that game? What is there that didn't happen in that game? There was a bit of everything there. Skaz dying to the red zone, however, that was a bit of an oof. They
Oh,
could have ratted out. You hate to really see it. Oh man, like there's so much pressure though in a situation like that. You know it's all on the line. Just need to rat to a fourth. They're like, okay, I don't want to go into the chapel below here because there might be someone waiting, but we want to go to that further zone. But it was just 1 second away from that. Did actually explode in that timer. But Madara and Lauber putting on a clinic into this game. Man, 10 kills between them.
yeah, 10 kills between them. We're going to see how that's going to affect the scores. It feels like we have been saying there's a game 5 because I'm pretty sure we hit all those conditions, but we do need to see the scores to
Yeah.
confirm that our caster brains actually work. As we are going to be looking through these, it's just pretty much all of the kills were at that top end. Madara and Lauber just sweeping up the lobby with
Yeah,
the with the Magnus and the Nadine.
a 10 kill first, correct my math is wrong, but that's gonna be like 38 points just right there.
Yeah.
I don't really remember what they were at before. I don't think it's enough to get to that 80 threshold, but hey, we'll
No,
see. 38's a
that's
big
a good point.
number. 38's
Yeah,
a big number.
it shouldn't be able to get him quite there because I don't think they were above 40. But if they were, then
Uh,
suddenly they actually would have won. So we don't actually know because I don't remember what their scores were. We'll have to wait for that because maybe we don't have a game 5. Maybe 38 is just a fat amount and they're gonna make it. But
yeah, maybe we're
overall, we were just looking as the only people we thought could take it in that lobby were going to be Skaz or Priz or Turk, and none of them should have hit the conditions as we wait and see what is going on with the rest of the lobby. Oh
yeah.
my god. I need to catch my breath, Khroen. I need to catch my breath. It's been crazy. It's been
Oh,
crazy.
I know, especially when it gets to like such an intense final zone like that. There's just so much action going on. You as the play-by-play caster here, you're just throat is in shambles, I'm sure. So much action. Like the lobber bite came through there. That's when all hell broke loose, really. It was just so much going on. I think though, Leon and Turk were playing that game towards the end super, super well. They weren't being over aggressive as honestly they usually are in games like this, but they were just playing very controlled, very restrained, which is very impressive for them. But we do actually now have these scores online, cast. So let's see where everyone's going to be ending up
Oh my
here.
god.
Yep.
Oh my god. Okay. Well, someone's hitting 80 this game. That
Yeah.
is for sure. But if Skaz, Turk, Lauber, Priz, or Gummy get first place in this game, they will take the tournament.
Whew. Oh man. Even okay, okay. If somehow neither or none of those five teams win, there's so much room for, I would say comfortably up to Prisma and Pit Kid, all the way up to first place there. They all could
The
claim
points are
victory
so
here.
close.
Yeah, they're so close, even without a victory here. There was a lot riding on the line last game. There's even more so now in this, what I would assume will be the final game.
I I I'm so stoked. We said the last one was gonna be spicy. It was when Lauber came in with the bike saying "Welcome to the Thunderdome." That was when it really kicked off at the end. But now we're gonna have a game number 5 with the stakes couldn't be higher with these teams as far as how that first place is concerned.
Yeah.
5 teams can just spike the tournament here with a first. If not, it's gonna come down to who scored the most points after 5 games, and that is incredible to watch.
Duking it out as well. Remember, for that $5,000, it's so close between first and fifth here, and the money difference there. First place is 1,500, fifth is 250. That is a 1,250 gap between that, and all the players have the chance there to claim that first place, claim that $1,500, and claim themselves as Lumia Mania champions with that Imperial crown.
Oh, just
I
just
felt
letting it
that.
sink in.
I felt
Just
that.
just letting it sink in, man. I'm just letting it sink in. I need a second. I need a second, all right?
We all need a second. Just everyone at home, take a breather, take a
Yeah,
drink of water. You've all been on the
yeah.
edge of
You know
your
what?
seats, I'm
Chat,
sure, as well.
hydrate. Hydrate, chat.
Hydrate right now. Ah, that's some good stuff. Stay hydrated, but we
Hydrate.
definitely want to be hydrated moving into what I assume, again, will be the final game of Lumia Mania. Any predictions at this point? It's so
No,
crazy to throw out
no.
predictions, but
I don't have a prediction, Khroen. I don't. Someone's gonna win. That's what I'm telling you. Someone's gonna win.
the tournament will end. That is the prediction that we're going with here. Will it be Skaz? Will it be Turk? Will it be Lobber, Prismat, Gummy? Who knows? It could be any one of those five. Just what do we say at this point, even?
Oh my god. I mean, it is just like been an amazing day of games so far, and for it to get to continue one more, I don't know if it would have been satisfying enough to end on that game four. I think we needed this. We needed this moment where we get into this game five with all the cards on the table, the points on the line, first place, you know,
Yeah,
open to 5 players. The points might not matter, at the end of the day, because the first place is all that matters for the top five, and
yeah.
they're all going to be fighting for it. We'll see if Gummy and Passant try and switch it up because they've been able to play for placement with the Enad builds, but they haven't really been able to net a first, and they really need a first this time
Oh yeah,
in order to take it. But
and
so
they
far,
could
it
get
looks
it.
like they might want to look for it on the Enad builds.
They've been playing pretty well, like to get to that late game zone. Like we said, if just a little bit of adjustments are made, a bit of better positioning, maybe getting some more kills, like they could very well accelerate themselves to a first here. I couldn't have asked for a better final, what could be again final game of this tournament. There's a lot riding on the line, as we keep mentioning, but what a better way for this to go, for you, for me, to all the spectators, all the competitors, but for the North American Eternal Return community as well. This is some good stuff.
Just to get a banger like this. That's all we
Yeah.
wanted. All we wanted was it to just be exciting, and it has been exciting so far. And oh my god, I can't wait to just bite into this final game. I think it's gonna be absolutely insane once again.
Whew.
Everybody playing for that first place. I expect a very slow start. I really do.
Yeah, I think with what you were just mentioning there, playing a slow start, you need to actually just get the victory. That's the most important thing here, not just, getting second place, getting third place, ratting out. There might be like 14 players remaining as we reach some of the final zones.
Yeah.
But also, if you get kills early, if you accelerate and not get punished for that, you could just bully the rest of the lobby, farm them, and win on out there. That
Yeah.
is the riskier playstyle here. I wonder if anyone will go for it, though.
We saw Nizori and Madru do just that in their qualifying lobby. So if a team can replicate that kind of performance where they just had full domination of the lobby, that would be another way that they can actually get that first place guaranteed. But I do expect that, kind of tentative play from everybody, being really scared to make a mistake, really scared to mess up. The nerves are definitely going to be big. You mentioned the differential between first and fifth place in prize money. It's big. And
Yeah.
first through fifth are all very close together right now. They're neck and neck.
They very much, all they need is a first to win the whole thing, win the whole tournament. It is possible. It all comes down to this. But let's see how these players are approaching. I don't really see any change ups in the routing here. Gummy, though, getting bullied a little bit by Celeste. Passant coming in here to assist, but will Gummy go down? It's possible.
Celeste is really bullying Gummy here. But the root from Basant, very important. He lended that Semtex. If he did not, that could have spelled trouble for Gummy. And they really just need to try and get their builds online. The Bastard Sword from Celeste being just too much in that early game.
Yeah, this is actually really, really bad, though, from Passat and Gummy. However, Lobber getting aggressive on here. We talked about, are they going to play passive? No, they're playing so aggressive. And I guess you can when you are that, Aya and Adriana composition here. The TAC 50 coming out relatively fast here from Madru. But again, Gummy and Passant, they are in a bit of a rough spot here. They need to go back into hospital, but they're getting bullied out yet again.
The stun gonna land. This is not good for Gummy and Passant. These are two blue weapon sword users right now going on to the Aya, and Gummy is gonna go down. Passant gonna have to look to try and rat it out because I don't know if he's gonna be able to get in and get the res against these two sword wielders.
The sword wielders are
They're
actually...
pulling out.
Wow, that's very, very interesting, actually. And not denying the potential of that duo. Wow, they're just going to get the kill. I mean, I guess they need everything to go right for them, right? So I kind of agree with that. We'll go more into it later, though. Leon Black and Celeste fighting.
Yeah, they're gonna actually down Leon again. This aggressive Oh, maybe not. This aggressive double sword start is so scary at this point in the game. With the Yuki and the Jackie, and Leon goes down. Turk might fall as well. PinkWard kiting. He's going to come back in. He's got the chainsaw back up, doing some damage. And the Yuki, the coup de grace. Turk and Leon are down. Turk and Leon are down in 9th in this game.
What seems like one of our favorites to maybe claim a win here in this game. They fall in 9th, 1 kill, but that doesn't matter. You need the victory here. That early game aggression, Celeste and PinkWard, they have to farm the whole lobby right now. If they farm the whole lobby and they win, what does that mean? I don't even think they can actually have a chance for victory here because they do have only 24 points moving into this game, but they can, however, climb up those placements and maybe get more of that prize money and a better score here overall.
Yeah, absolutely. That is what they're playing for as the team with the least points so far, trying to fight their way back up. But wow, I mean, this was a very cool start. I like the double sword early aggression that we're seeing, and we'll see how they transition. Celeste has transitioned to twin blades out of his two-hander, and
Wait,
this will. Oh my, go ahead, talk on this if you've got an idea. Go
I
ahead.
like that a lot, actually. You get the dual two-handed swords online early to get those early kills, and then you swap out for what's going to be a better late game. Two-handed sword won't scale quite as well as having that blow-up potential. We're moving into the mid-game. They need to get faster picks, right? So Celeste, with the dual blades, is going to be able to get the faster picks like that. They don't really have a lot of CC to lock them down, but with a good bush camp or something of the sort there, they really, really could turn things on here.
Yeah, they absolutely could. I mean, that is so incredibly scary and incredibly smart out of Celeste. You know, this is a very top level duos player, top level player in North America. This finals performance isn't probably exactly what Celeste and PinkWard wanted after such a great lobby performance in the qualifier coming in, but they still are trying to go out with a bang at the very least and have already picked up 3 kills.
Gummy and Passant here are both still on white weapons. They actually took so long to kill those wolves. And talking about them getting griefed out of hospital early, this is the result of that. They are so slowed into this game. Coming back is almost like near impossible. I'll say the mastery levels are so far behind as well. 2 mastery on Gummy, 3 mastery on Passant. They need to get into that cemetery, but it's closing here soon as well. I can't really fathom that they can come back into this game.
Yeah, it is going to be so hard, but Prismat actually getting caught out by a verse. The root lands, the fear going to stop him from teleporting, and Prismat's going to go down. A verse and Bloom find a pick onto Prismaticism, and now it is up to Pit Kid. It is up to Pit Kid to rat jam once more.
Will he be able to have to not only rat jam, but rat jam into a first? And that is going to be rough. 2 of the favorite teams here, some of the point leaders moving into this game. They're going to be struggling here. Madara actually might fall as well.
Yeah, Madara going to fall, and Lauber trying to run away, getting sniped down. Madru almost picks up Lauber, but they are able to grab Madara. Madara going to get grief down here. They're going to finish him off to get that loot. As we see, Nizori and Madru strong once again. Ulti getting chased by Skaz and Piemaster, but it is going to just be the motorbike and run away. You should be able to get out of this one.
Motorbike and run away indeed. There has been a rough start to this lobby, an explosive start, I guess I should say, to this lobby. And it means that players like Celeste and Control Ward are going to just be ahead here. You do need to make up the mastery difference from swapping over to these dual blades, but I think that's okay. They're on... Oh, they actually both swapped over to dual swords. Celeste and Control Ward I'm looking at. That... What an adaptation here.
That is so interesting to see. I love it. Just build the Bastard Sword early on so you're strong, and now they're both on dual blades, maybe looking at a fight in Factory as they find Gummy and Passant once again. As we do see the pretty much full build Jackie trying to get onto Gummy. He goes for the Chainsaw Massacre. Gonna see if we do see the dual sword rampage as Celeste gonna find the stun, and poor Gummy has just not been able to get anything going this game, and now they just have far too much damage just shredding through his down body, and Passant gonna have to rat it up.
Put your hands in the air, but not PinkWard or Celeste. It is Gummy on that Aya having to do so, but it does not matter. Falling after a poor start, and now it is going to be up to Passant to rat things out. There's the potential, if it gets to a real close endgame circle, for Lauber Pit Kid, Passant, all to claim victory here. You can't count that potential out, even though they're solo players. They might get picked off over the course of this game, but the potential is still there. Nazori and Madru, though, they're still going aggressive. Yet again, on to now Tolki and Polti. Polti riding the bike away. Does Nazori have more ult charges? He does have at least one. Can they find more kills?
Yeah, he does catch one more on to Tolki, and the snipes are coming down from Madru. Nazori trying to keep the pressure up, chasing into Tolki and Polti, but they do seem to have pretty good food ticking, and they are tanky enough to kind of escape here. They are going to run into Lauber on the edge of archery, and Lauber may have to run all the way to that alley teleporter to get out, but he does get stunned up, and Lauber actually might go down. Tolki should be able to find this kill. Lauber puts up the white flag, but he's not going to be able to get away.
And they both instantly port. Let's see where they're porting to. It's going to be the same location, I would imagine. Can they actually get the stop off? Madru! Oh, no!
Madru tried.
It was so close there. Oh, man. But they poured out. Madru loses a bit of timer, but it is okay. They see that they went on over to Factory. Tolki and Polti are. Control ward actually trying to find Passant. Passant with a good roll, good juke away, but PinkWard's on the case. Night vision means that they aren't going to be able to see Passant, however, though.
Yeah, he might hear the footsteps here at the edge, though. Definitely still tracking onto this Isol. This is a very fast Jackie. PinkWard wanting some blood, you know, not feeling good about the earlier games in the final. He's like, you know what? We're just going to kill everybody. And he and Celeste have done a pretty good job of it so far. Should be finding Passant here. Celeste trying to find the stun. A great roll from Passant. Might be able to get him away. PinkWard does have the chase, however. Going to jump on, go for the Chainsaw Massacre. Might have the dual blade rampage. Not going to connect. Not going to be able to quite stick to Passant just yet, but he is faster overall and can continue to try and chase low SP. So camouflage may be hard to cast multiple more times.
Yeah, we'll have at least one more, I imagine, here. Yes,
yep,
does
there it is.
Over to the right-hand side of PinkWard, expertly reading where Passant's going every single time. Oh, yeah, I was just going to say, not his first time, knowing how you're going to play those juking characters out. PinkWard's still on the run. Passant's going to go into the timer zone. Will PinkWard continue? Yeah, when in doubt, just drag out here. You're going to roll on in here and take down Passant for their 5th kill of the game.
They're just popping off for this lobby, and I love to see it. You know, they still have life in them, even though they are near the bottom of the table. They're like, you know what? We're not going down without a fight. We want to kill everybody in this lobby. We're just going to hunt them all down one by one with these dual blades now after that early start and try and take what we can. But Bloom and Averse going to go for the Wick, and it looks like they're just going to grab this for free.
It looks like it. No one in Avenue 2 contest. They should just be able to pick this one up. But man, I just can't help but just, you know, admire the choice, the playstyle choice of Celeste and Control Ward there on going dual two-handed sword into the dual blades. It's just, I love it. I absolutely love that style there. And they're making it work very, very, very well in this game. We do have Wickline, of course, being picked up by Bloom and Averse. They are going to be threats. They're going to be not actually in that 50-point range, but they just got to play for whatever placements they can at this point.
Yeah, they absolutely will be needing to play for that. Just trying to get a little bit more of the prize money, you know, try and get past that 5th place threshold, break into the bigger money in the 4th, 3rd, 2nd, and 1st. See how much they can do, and a 1st place here can net them a ton of points.
It definitely can there. Skaz and Piemaster, they are actually in 1st leading into this game with their dominant win earlier. Can they make something happen here versus Bloom and Averse? Looks like they don't really want it. There also is going to be Celeste and PinkWard on the side there, looking for something aggressive.
Yeah, Celeste might be able to find the stun onto the Skaz if he wants it on his next dashing gentleman. PinkWard gonna go in with the dual sword rampage. We're gonna get the stun onto Skaz, the coup de grace coming out, but it is interrupted by the showstopper. We do have Skaz falling very low. PinkWard does rip the Chainsaw Massacre, but that charm stopping the dashing gentleman from Celeste should be able to get Piemaster away, at least for now. But the move speed on Celeste and PinkWard is so high, and they don't want to let up. We did have Skaz bike away, but now Piemaster is in a bit of danger still as Celeste catches up with the stun and the big crit. Piemaster dropping so low, the next dashing gentleman still doesn't catch up in time, but I think it's a matter of time before they catch him. They still are continuing to just jump after. The dual sword rampage will be up eventually, and Celeste is just so quick. Gonna be able to get the stun, and Piemaster's gonna go down.
I wonder if it was a bit preemptive there to Skaz for to port out. Maybe Skaz could have peeled for Pie Master there. I guess they recognized that they were just too far behind. They don't want to go up against the dual sword rampages there, the dual sword rampages, but instead just gonna try to rat on out for placement points. Skaz once again in that situation. Bloom and Averse being bullied on out by Nizori and Madru. That Adriana and Aya, they're so safe. They poke from such a safe range. They are just the bullies in a lot of these scenarios. A legendary box actually dropped there. Wonder if, yeah, it looks like Nizori and Madru are gonna be able to claim that. Verse and Bloom kind of getting bullied out of that
I
area.
cannot believe this, Khroen. All 5 of the teams that are in position to
Oh, yeah.
win with the first place are no longer duos in the game. Skaz and PinkWard are the only ones remaining. So the top 5 are getting preyed upon by the bottom 4 here, and the bottom 4 are the ones that are left remaining in strong position.
Wonderful to bring that up. That just goes to show players are on top of their game in recognizing what is not only their win condition, but just condition to get as many points as possible, as many placement points as possible to get their share of that $5,000 prize pool. Such intelligent play going on here. Madru and Nizori looking for yet another gold crate here. Can they bully out Averse and Bloom yet again?
Yeah, they
Doesn't look
are
like it.
going to
interrupts it, though.
try. I mean, they keep dropping the Adriana ultimates and getting poked, but overall, they don't seem to want to fully commit on this fight. Gonna try and wait a little bit longer. Try and scale up a bit more. Madru, you know, generally pretty high on mastery compared to the rest of the lobby. Wanting that level 14 sniper skill going to be helping a lot later on in this game.
Definitely so. Averse and Bloom playing this pretty safe. Looking at the masteries here on the side, Madru is up at 12. That is the highest in the lobby there. And second is going to be PinkWard with 11. Everybody else around that 7 to kind of 11 range there. Madru on 13 will be the first one to reach 14, I would imagine, and get that second level up on that weapon skill online. And that sniper skill, when it reaches tier 2, is just so much damage coming through, so much poke. It's so annoying to deal with.
Yeah, it absolutely is. We are going to have Pokey and Pulte chilling out in hotel. Finally, Celeste and did they just trade? Did they just trade dual blades? Did they just decide, hey, you know what? Your dual blades look a little cool. Can I have them for now?
Yeah, PinkWard picking up the Star Steel twin swords. Don't see those a lot, but they do provide a lot of attack speed. Similarly to the Dioscuri, the only difference is that Star Steel will be getting some Enad and a little bit more attack power there. Same amount of attack speed, with 50% apiece. Celeste, though, they are looking for kills. Madru's still fishing. Gotta get out of there.
Yeah, they want blood still, as we are going to have the blank cartridge land as PinkWard and Celeste push forward, but they're taking so much damage back. The steady shot from Madru doing so much, and PinkWard is going to fall to Nizori as Celeste tries to run away, but Tolki is there to try and clean it up and does steal that one away. So it will be Nizori getting the kill credit onto PinkWard. And finally, their rampage, their dual sword rampage, comes to a close.
6 kills, however, already between them. You gotta give some props to them on that adaptation here. They got a bit over aggressive. It was only a matter of time, it felt like, before they bit off more than they could chew. Pulte here, needing to monk a steer on out of there, will do so. And we have 8 players remaining. Again, 2 of them are solos with Skaz and PinkWard. If they find each other, they may temporarily, team up here. But they know that both of them need the win to claim victory here tonight. So they might see some backstabbing in that case. The rest of the duos available still with their partners are Tulki Pulte, Nizori Madru, and Averse and Bloom. All 3 of those teams were not at 50 points yet, however.
Yeah, we're going to see where it's all going to shake up at the end, because I just imagine that there will be some surprises in the standing when all is said and done. But Averse and Bloom looking to at least close it out on a win. You know, they haven't had as much success in this finals lobby as they did earlier, looking so dominant, wanting to kind of turn that around a little bit, at least end the day on a big game.
Yeah. And Nizori had 3 legendary items there. I believe it was the auto arms, the blazing dress, and the boots of Hermes, actually. Madru also boots of Hermes. PinkWard, however, running into Tolki. Could Tolki take out one of the people who's contesting the victory here?
Yeah, potentially. It's going to have to be PinkWard running as much as he can. He is caught by Nizori and Madru, though. PinkWard's going down. Nizori and Madru find him, and they're able to pick up that kill.
That's
Now
gonna
a
be
Verse
huge for
and Bloom.
Skaz. Yeah, that's huge for Skaz actually, because even I think Skaz. So this game is going to be guaranteed the last one. It's just a matter of what team actually comes out on top here. Not sure. We're going to see how the standings shake up because it is still between right now Tolki, Pulte, Nozori Madra, and Verse Bloom to really get on into that maybe top four, top three placement.
Yeah, we'll see if we get a lot more kills coming out of one of these teams. They did have some pretty high points. They could place pretty, very high overall in the standings. I'll have to see what they can hit exactly. Nizori and Madru already have 3 kills. There are a lot more that they could collect.
Yeah, there are. Skaz doing his best Rat Jam impression there in the pool, splashing around on in there, but not really, just kind of standing exactly still. Not splashing at all. It's still a Verse and Bloom versus Nozori Madru. I feel like we've seen this so much in this game, but they don't really want to overcommit.
We do have Nizori taking a little bit of poke, but going to be able to jump away from there as the sniper skill coming out from Madru, getting plenty of poke down onto Bloom and Averse. A couple of tree buns they're going to use right now as Madru comes in with the steady shot, trying to deal a lot of damage. Not going to connect on too many, but Averse is chunked pretty low. Going to be having to think twice about this fight overall. They may have to even go for the teleport to try and get out of Hotel.
Maybe so. Let's see what Skaz how it wants to do this. Skaz maybe runs the red zone again, but I'm worried if I'm Skaz running through the red zone, we don't want a repeat of that last game. Gonna cut the tape there before anything bad happens on that perspective. But no, he's not rushing through yet. But who is pushing through is Bloom.
Bloom's gonna connect onto Madru with the bike, and they are able to take him down. Averse gonna teleport past all the traps, and Nizori is now the one in trouble, down to 14 seconds on their timer. Nizori going to have to make his way to the teleport, or he's gonna have to get back to the red zone, but he was having a little trouble deciding which way to go, and now he's on only 3 seconds, and he's stuck. He's getting caught and finally dashes through, but Averse and Bloom are able to pick up those 2 kills on Madru and Nizori, and now it is just Tolki, Pulte, and Skaz remaining in the lobby to contend with for Averse and Bloom.
Skaz had 6 seconds left on the timer there. He, okay, makes it into the zone this time. At least we got that going on for us. But will Verse and Bloom check out that corner? If they do, I think it will be the end of Skaz here. But they don't. They just move on over to want to get positioning versus Tolki and Pulte. This could be the difference of a lot of money here. Whoever gets the higher placement.
Yeah, we'll have to see how that will shake up and how this game will shake out, because Skaz is still alive. He's ratted his way to a third. He's putting himself in the best position possible going into the final scores as Averse finds Tolki, does not connect immediately, but Bloom wants to go in, goes with the motorbike. We're going to see Pulte try and turn it around, but he's going to get rooted up and taken down. Averse and Bloom going to grab one more kill, and they are very well positioned to take first place of this game.
Definitely, I'd be surprised if they don't at this point here. Pulte just gonna be getting pissed off by Skaz here.
No, you gotta go down now. He puts the thumbs up as now Tolki has found Skaz, and Bloom's gonna pick up that kill as Averse and Bloom move on to Tolki. They're gonna try and take him down, and they should be able to. I don't know if Tolki is going to find the 1v2. It looks like Averse and Bloom should be able to turn this into a 6-kill victory. To close out the day, they're just gonna rest up before a final fight with Tolki.
If any test subject could do it, it could be Rozzy. There's no ultis available for Averse and Bloom. Oh no, it's just way too much damage. Tolki goes down, and Bloom and Averse claim our final game.
They pick up the final game, but now we'll have to wait for the scores to see who won, to see how the scores have overall shooken out, and to see the placements of all of these teams, to see how much of the $5,000 prize pool they'll be taking home.
Man, what a way to end things off there. A lot of the favorite teams falling early in that game. That's a story in and of itself, but beautiful play there by a lot of our players. And I do, again, want to give the shout out to Celeste and PinkWard. That was some of the most impressive stand-up performance for me to actually PinkWard getting 2 stand-up performances here, not only with the 1v2, but then the two-handed into the dual blade swap there. I personally love that a ton, but can't take away from any of the other competitors as well. Bloom and Averse saying there's a reason why we have won 2 games out of the 3 in the group stage. They fell short in some of these games in the finals, but they still came up pretty big there. That's going to net them a lot of points to probably break into, I would think, maybe the top 4 at the least, but maybe even further than that.
Yeah, we're going I am not sure. It's really tough. The
Yeah.
scores were so close going
We'll see.
into this final game. It's going to be really tight between all of the top of the ladder, but also the fact that the bottom four were the top four of that last game is definitely going to be changing things up. So
Oh man.
we're definitely going to have to be we're waiting with bated breath for these final scores to come through as it's been a long day. We
Yeah.
do know it's over though, chat. It is over. That is confirmed. We do know that this was the last game and
Yeah.
we are calculating the scores now.
I'm so excited. I want to see him, man. I'm just oh man, this whole day has been so great. There hasn't been a point where I've been disappointed in this competition. Just from this beginning of Lobby A now to the end game of the finals, there's been so much good stuff, and I think that really bodes well for the future of NA Eternal Return. Korea having a lot of big tournaments now, but NA like this is huge. I think actually, and this means a lot for for me and for the rest. I would assume of the Nimble Neuron team and the Eternal Return NA community.
Yeah, I hope that we can continue to have many more tournaments because this was so much fun already, and I hope that the players enjoyed it as well. We're
Oh
definitely
yeah.
excited to have brought this tournament out, and I couldn't be happier with how we were able to finish this 5 game series with crazy close scores. We have to wait for the calculations. That's just how close it was.
Oh man, I want to see him, Cass. I want to see him. What has surprised you the most from today, if anything, that jumps to mind?
Oh, just how much all of the other teams were able to contend with a lot of our kind of ERBS incumbents, right? The
Yeah,
the
true.
players who have been playing and content creating for this game for a long time. We had a lot of these pro players from other games come in and actually look dominant in some of these lobbies and really take it to these kind of veterans and not be afraid. Lauber being able to shut down a verse in some of these
Oh yeah,
engages in some of the games. PinkWard with that 1v2 versus Sleeping Lion and versus Samsora. It's just there's been so much that has been awesome, and I also just shout outs to all the players that put in the work and just grinded the game when we invited them. That was
oh
so
yeah,
unexpected, and it turned the caliber of these lobbies. It just increased them by so much.
definitely. And I think we just got word that we have the scores, Cass,
Oh,
for who will be our Lumia Mania winner. Let's take a look here. Dun dun dun.
here they are. Gaz and Pie Master at 88 points are the only ones who actually cracked 80.
Oh
So
wow.
we barely even ended on this game. But Skaz was able to rat jam it out in that final game just enough that he and Pie Master are going to take it home. They will be your very first Lumia Mania champions. Take home that Imperial Crown and $1,500 for the two of them. Chris Matt and Pit Kid in second, Turk and Leon Black in third. Bloom and Averse with that huge performance snuck their way into fourth, tied with Lauber and Madara. We'll have to have some tie breaks to calculate that, and we'll have everybody let us know. But before that, we are going to have an interview with Skaz. We're going to pull him in and have a little chat.
Yeah, we'll see. It'll be not quite yet, but soon here. But man, that's a really close three-way tie there. I didn't actually notice that when just look at the scores there. But this goes to show, as you were mentioning, the caliber of competition here. I'm really excited to talk to Skaz and really get his perspective there because they were doing a lot of great work there actually. And I think we might now have Skaz on the line. Are you there? Are you with us?
Hold on, I'm trying to add Master to the call. Oh,
Okay.
Oh,
having trouble. Hey,
we'll,
what's up, guys?
we'll get him in. Hey, Skaz. Well, just to kick things off, man, I mean, you've done so much for the North American ERBS community. I mean, running your tournaments, the ERCS in general, was so much fun to watch,
Oh,
so
thank
much
you.
fun to listen to you commentate those. And we learned a lot watching that, and we thought those were amazing. But how does it feel to finally get to come in and play, get to show your stuff in a tournament yourself? Because you've been having to be behind the scenes so much. Now you get to come out and take the whole thing.
I'll be honest, it feels amazing. Like, it really does feel amazing. Like, I'm actually so happy because, yeah, like you said, like I run a lot of tournament stuff. I don't get to play in tournaments. I see all these tournaments getting played. I cast them. I put them on. I don't get to actually play in them. So to actually get the chance to show up, show my stuff, and perform, I couldn't be happier.
Definitely. And with that being said, what were your expectations coming into today? Because you don't have a lot of time playing these tournaments. You are running a lot of them. Were you expecting to come out here, being victorious? Kind of where did you see yourself in the beginning of today?
So when Pi and I were talking strategy before this, by the way, I just want to say that like we did so much homework leading up to this. Like we have been labbing like 20 different strategies getting ready for this. We were holding things like back. I don't know. I saw you guys were in the in-houses a bunch. How
Yeah.
often did you see us play Heart Magnus? Like probably not at all, right?
Never, never,
No, I was so
never.
surprised by that. They made the adaptation going to like game 2 earlier on, and I was like, "Whoa, this is insane!" But it was working out. Like you weren't getting first, but you're still getting like a lot of kills and solid placements. But yeah, we really see how much that preparation paid off there. That was insane.
Yeah. So like the idea was like we were gonna bring that out for the finals. Our goal was, well, at least my personal goal was like just to qualify for the finals because it would feel bad just to drown in pools, but like
Yeah.
the point was to get in finals and then bring out the Heart Magnus. But after a lukewarm game 1 in our group stage, we're like, nah, forget that. Heart Magnus, we're going right to it right now.
Oh
Yeah, I
man.
mean, you rode it all the way to the finals and through the finals, having such amazing games. I mean, we started out, we saw Pi on the Leanox, and we were like, yeah, this makes sense. Pi's Leanox is insane. We're like, okay, Skaz and Pi are gonna dominate Hotel, then they're gonna grab the Forest Tree after that. It's gonna be great. And it just didn't work out. But I mean, the Magnus Heart being so incredibly good. But I just want to talk to both of you because now we've got Pi on the line as well. I just want to ask you about, the emotions going into games 4 and 5 where you had someone die early and you had to rat it out and it was kind of out of your hands. Just how were you feeling in those last 2 games? Start with Skaz and then we'll go to Pi.
Okay.
So, Pi, yo, what's up?
No, you go first. He said.
Oh, so in those last 2 games, we were just feeling like really stressed. Like at that point, we knew we were essentially one, one didn't even have to be a good game, just one okay game away
Yep.
from hitting 80 points. We knew that we could just do any sort of performance, just not die early, and we'd be fine. And unfortunately, in game 4, we did die early. Like it was like Tolkien and Pulte, they made the adaptation, they started coming to factory, and they caught us off guard. It got us in a bad place. And then after that, we were even closer to 80 points. And we just had to just play safe, just ensure that we made above 80.
Yeah, definitely. Now that we do have Pie Master on the line as well, maybe, how are you feeling just throughout the whole tournament? Actually, I want to kind of like, rephrase that because there are a lot of expectations, I guess, coming into today. There's so many great players. I would say you're one of the best players in North America, definitely one of the best Leanox players, I would say. So how are you feeling after everything is said and done, claiming the victory as well?
It feels really good to win. Honestly, after that first game, like Skaz said, with pulling out Lennox, Nadine, we didn't feel that good. Like that game didn't go well. We did okay. It didn't work. And no one really like knows me as a heart player. I'm not really a heart player, but we were working on this strat. Skaz had it in his back pocket, and we're like, you know what? Just bring it out now. We'll just ride to the end of the tournament if it works. And we just took it all the way to the end.
Yeah, and a quick follow-up. How many strategies, if you want to reveal, did you guys work on? Was there still some other spice in the back pocket, say if your Magnus Heart wasn't really working out there?
Yeah, so our initial like solid game plan going into all of this was to run some sort of Sicella comp. But the thing was is that we kind of figured out in the in-houses that Sicella has like 85% damage or in duos or something.
Yeah.
Really low compared to Emma, who has like 96 or something. Like the other casters in the game were just better at doing what Sicella wanted to do. So we had to scrap every single Sicella comp and look for other things. And that's when we were really settling on like the Nadine Lennox game plan and then the Heart Magnus game plan. But we had a bunch more prepared. They sort of ended up not working out. We also had some Hyun comps, but that wasn't actually going to happen.
All right, a bunch of preparation. I'll pass it back over to Cass if you have anything else for Skaz and Pie Master here.
I don't have any more questions for you guys, but I just want to give you the floor for any shout outs, anything that you guys want to say to the community or to the other competitors, to whoever.
Yo, Pat, you want to go first?
No, you can go first, guys.
Okay, well, I want to give a huge shout out to everyone who I work with for the ERCS. I love you guys. You guys are wonderful. I want to give a huge shout out to you guys for hosting this tournament because you guys are doing a fantastic job and I love it. It looks so nice. You guys are doing so great. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
I just want to give one more shout out to pretty much everyone who I've ever played like Eternal Return with. Like the journey's been great. I love you guys all so much. I love my community. I love everybody here. Keep being awesome and let's keep growing Eternal Return together.
Hell yes, guys. All right, Pi, your shout outs, your time, your floor.
Okay. I mostly just want to shout out like people who ran the in-houses, people who played the in-houses. Those are such good practice for us. Like it helped us prep a lot. We tested a lot of strategies for them. So all the people in there who play all the time and like let us try stuff and giving priority to the tournament players, big shout out to them. Also, big shout out to Vivi, my #1 streamer.
Some good stuff there. Great. Thank you very much for, coming around and not only coming around, but being the champions here for Lumia Mania. Congrats once again. Some impressive stuff from you both.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. So with that, we're going to be waiting just a second longer before we send you guys away. We're calculating the tiebreak between 4th and 5th place. Once we have that, we'll be able to tell you the exact order of the standings overall. But congrats once again to Piemaster and Skaz. Well-deserved victory. They played exceptionally all day. Very, very excited to see that. I just overall, I mean, I was so happy that we got to do this event. This is so
Oh,
much
yeah.
fun. I hope to do more in the future because this is such a fun game to commentate, and there's so much action, there's so much fighting. It has been so incredibly good.
Definitely. And I think we do have our tiebreakers calculated. I think, of course, Skaz Piemaster with the win, but second place goes over to Prismat and to Pit Kid. Third place is actually Lauber and Madara. Fourth place is Bloom and Averse. And fifth place is the Turk and Leon Black team there. So those are how our kind of third to fifth tiebreakers do break down at the end of the day. But man, it was so close between them
Yeah.
all.
And to round it off, 6th place Tolki and
Yeah.
Polti, 7th Gummy and Passant, 8th Nizori and Madru, and 9th place was PinkWard and Celeste. They weren't able to bring back out of that 9th place, even with that amazing final game. But
It was fun
with
though.
that, with the scores all tallied up and the places settled, Lumia Mania is going to come to a close. But thank you all so much for watching. Shout outs to Nibble Neuron for sponsoring the prize pool. Shout outs to Wisdom Media GG for putting this on. Thank you all so much for watching. Have a good night.